Black African power was good, was happening. A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. And we come to do what we got to do, and we're going to do what we got to do. We standing tall. We standing strong, man. Y'all know what day it is, man. It's 3 the hard way, man. It's good, family, man. I'm waiting for the comrades to come through, man. Y'all already know how we do, man. Getting ready to have a powerful show. All right. Now, y'all see that picture on there. That's the Broken Hill skulls, man. All right. Y'all should know what the Broken Hill skulls are, right? We talked about it last week. Those are Tyrians. All right. Maybe not the Tyrians. Let's see. Broken Hill skulls. Homo habilis was younger than we thought. All right. It says Broken Hill skull became the first historically significant human fossil found in Africa when it was discovered in Zambia in 1921. Almost 100 years later, and the remains of this ancient human are continuing to shed light on how humans evolved. After new analysis of this fossil has shown it to be much younger than previously thought. When the Broken Hill skull was first discovered in what is now Kabi, Zambia, it was quickly realized to have belonged not to modern humans, but to ancient ones. While initially it was named Homo rhodesian, it has since been classified as one of the best preserved fossils of another ancient human species called Homo habilis. Thought to have first appeared some 600,000 years ago. Homo habilis spread throughout much of Africa and Europe, leaving in their wake a smattering of fossils and plenty of stone tools. Man, that's how we do it around here, man. We just keep learning, man. I'm going to drop this link in and thing, the natural history joint. I'm going to drop this in here, man. Wait for the bros to get on, man. We got a powerful show. If y'all been following the Wikipedia article we've been using, we're just going down the line, man. All right. Ross Sanel, I see you. Kung Fu Hebrew, I see you. Lamar Pope, I see you. I know y'all ain't sitting around watching that daggone Steelers game. We didn't want to see them daggone Steelers. We didn't want to see them, do we? Let me see where they at. Get them roused up. Rouse them up. Where you at? Where you at?
I'm coming in right now.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right. That's how we getting. You got to call now. Let me see. Oh, no. Call now. Yeah, call them. You know how we doing it. Answer the phone. Answer the phone. I seen you be in the building. Nazir Lee. Hope it ain't just me and you. You don't have to beat you up. You ain't got Ngozi to save you.
Hey, it's all good, man. You know, hey, it's all information for the good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't know where it goes. Yeah, he called me. He said
You know, it's saying you live too. You know, you live.
Yeah, I know I'm live.
Okay, all right.
That's how we started off. Yo, we got something special for y'all, man.
Yeah, I see you got the who is this? The hominid?
Yeah. That's Homo habilis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you been.
You at, Gullah? Where you at, Gullah? Gate and wait for you get in there, Mac. Where you at? All right, they can hear you. The people say, "What's up to the people, Gullah?"
What's good with it? What's good with it?
All right, all right. Mike Rogers said he supports me. Yeah. Yeah, man. You know, we put up them skulls, man, because this is what we basically represent here, man. We represent the junk and actually putting together and bringing the information. I felt like that's what the elders was doing, man. It was, you know, it was acclimating us to this type of information, man. Yeah, nigga, that is a link. Got him. Somebody asked for the link. Come on, bro. Send it to him. He got one of them trap phones. I hope it did. Let's see. Let me see. Make sure they all got it. You don't need to take 3 of us being here, man. We get it started, man. Let me see how the chat looking, man. Oh, I didn't put that in there for y'all, did I? All right. Yeah, we probably need to do a whole show, Kwame Mayat, on those Anatolian farmers, yo. Anatolian farmers built everything in Africa? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a
who say that?
That's a tough one there.
Anatolian? And they don't even understand how genes roll, though. Yeah, that's what get me, yo. You feel me? Like,
yeah,
if you read enough stuff, yo, you'll understand that although they might have had grains from Western Asia or whatever, right?
Yeah.
In actuality, yo, the way the thing is packaged in Nile Valley farming. So let me give you a good example, man. Great example here. So China come from where, yo? China.
Yeah.
But the way it's packaged, man, you know what I'm saying? The way we do it, the way we present it, is in an American way, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you serve like Chinese food. You go to a Chinese restaurant, yo, on the corner, the way it's packaged, yo, it's packaged in American. Chinese food and American Chinese food is 2 separate things. Same with Mexican food.
Yeah.
Taco Bell ain't the same as Mexican food. It is Mexican. It's Taco Bell, but it's an American version of it, yo.
Oh yeah, that's why they got like Tex-Mex and stuff like that. Sure, in St. Louis we call it Chinese. We call it Chinaman.
Hey, you know what? It's like, see, when you say something like that, bro, you should a person like him, because I've seen his name on here frequently, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever had them on the panel before, just to come up and just explain what they mean by this. They ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't not take over the show or nothing, but just explain it when you say this.
I think you're just afraid to come up here or something. This is an open show right here, man.
If you have sources, because
what they saying now?
He's saying Anatolian farmers built everything in Africa. I don't know if he's trolling, if he's serious about that, but I'm just saying, bro, come on now. Now I'll give you some info. You've got the Lothian culture. They're around 6,000 BCE, right? They're in the Levant. They're right next to the Nizian culture in the southern Levant, right? So you do have some evidence of their culture disappearing and showing up in the Fayum. And I have a slide on my PowerPoint that I'll touch on that briefly. But it's not a complete like takeover or anything like that. It's almost like, just think about if you were living somewhere and someone else had a style or a technique that was useful to you. You know what I'm saying? You would want to learn it. It would take time for you to adapt it into your climate. Just think about how long it took for them to even adapt domesticus in the African soil. That took like hundreds of years. Literally, you do know that, right?
See, they don't know
So
that.
yeah, so you would have to explain what cultures are you saying left out of the Levant, went where. I just gave you one. You got to do the same thing, bro, and step your game up. Us just on here just throwing stuff out in the, that's not real. Come on, man.
Jumped out of nowhere and started planting food in a whole different ecology. Bam. And it grew. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now the Red Sea, yeah, you do have early domesticated animals, lifestyle practices in the Red Sea at 2 sites, tree shelter
was domesticated.
So
Yeah,
so them
yeah,
caves,
he
you have
tracking.
animals.
Yeah, he
But
tracking.
again, what culture are you willing to attach that to with evidence, with ample evidence?
That's the
You know
Cushitic.
what I'm
That's the Proto-Cushitic people. They domesticated donkeys. You know what I'm saying? In the Red Sea Hills.
Mm. Mm.
Well, even with that, Gullah, I mean, when you say Proto-Cushitic, like where are you saying those people migrated? You saying they're migrated into the Delta, into
No, no,
tree
no,
shelter?
no. No, I'm just saying, like, donkeys, they traded donkeys, you know what I'm saying? Trade go through secondhand or whatever, but a lot of that stuff went into Asia, went into, North Africa, all over, you know what I'm saying? But the Cushitic people were the source of, domesticating the East African wild ass, which is the wild version of the donkey.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's indigenous to donkey is indigenous to Africa. You know that, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep. And
I
then
know
and
that.
then too, and the camel, and they say it's debated, but they say the camel could either been domesticated in Somalia or in Arabia. But the Somalians, you know what I'm saying, always been back and forth and across the Arabian Peninsula, and the Arabians have always been back and forth in that part of Africa themselves. So could have been both groups doing it simultaneously, you know what I'm saying, as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
But at tree shelter, Siding Cave, they got overpreens, they got sheep, they got cattle. And I think they may have had goats. One
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them, I think they were missing though. There's
yeah. The
normally
goats
shows
came
up
in
in
through.
Neolithic
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
But
yeah. The
so you
goats definitely
saying,
came.
so you attaching them to Proto-Cushitic?
I'm talking about the people domesticated a donkey. But
Oh,
no,
okay, I got
but
you.
but but part of Cushitic people did take in goats and sheep into their own culture from trade. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They
yeah.
traded donkeys for goats and sheep and things of that nature. And then that's how the goats and sheep even ended up in Napa Playa through the Cushitic people trading in with the Nilo-Saharan groups.
Mm. All right, so we all in the building, man. I see you, man. We got Street Sufi crazy. What's going on with you?
What's up, my bro? Peace and love.
What's up, Gullah? How you doing?
What's good with it, y'all? What's good with it?
So yeah, yo, we here, man. The show starts now, man.
In the land of Kemet, wisdom flows like the Nile. Unlocking the meta-netto, restudying style. Ancestors whisper as we listen with pride. In the heart of the city, ancient truths collide. No time for the fake, skepticism is real. Free the hard way. 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 I'm the God killer from these bottomless streets, dropping knowledge bombs as the history repeats. Ngozi with wisdom, channeling the SARS mic, teaching on the block. Ancient wrongs turn right, the law keeps it gutter, rooted like a tree. Yeah, free the hard way. Free the hard way. Free the hard way. Free the hard way.
Hey man, y'all know what it is, man. It's 3 the Hallway, man. It's that Sunday show, man. We're about that business, man. We always got that special guest, man, Nasir Lee, man. He's always there, yo. He's been around for damn near 15 years. Man, appreciate everybody stopping through, man. What's good with you, Street Sufi and Ngozi? What to do, brother? How you doing, man?
Peace and love, man. Just, willing and ready to get it in, man. Listening in, ready to teach, put it in work, man. All right, this picture that you see is a picture of a reconstruction of a Ibero-Mauritian. My brother Mkobi, who's an archaeologist student, he wrote to David Wright or David Reach, and they agreed with the picture and the reconstruction. So if you want to know what Ibero-Mauritian looked like, this is a better image than what people are seeing and showing publicly. If you look at him long enough, he kind of like favors a more robust Gaddafi in morphology. But yo, here's what it is.
Gullah, what's up with you, man?
What's
Always in the
good with it, man?
You all right, man? Good to
I'm
have
good.
you, baby.
Good chilling. Hey, the intro was cold. That was dope. I like that. Gonna be hard.
We got an
Oh yeah,
outro.
definitely powerful.
Hard,
Definitely powerful as hell.
hard,
Powerful.
hard. Mr. Lee, man, how you doing, brother? Long-standing friend, brother. We've been fighting for 15 years.
Hey, what's good, man? It's back. It's good to be back another week, man. Peace to Three the Hard Way. You know, y'all out here putting in this work. And shout out to the comment section, all of the loyal supporters of your show, brother. You know what I'm saying? And you know, ready to get it in. And you know,
That 25 version, man, that I'm a
Oh,
raw
wait.
squad, man. But I'm a raw squad should have always been, yo, but it takes steps to get there. You know what I'm saying, yo? You know, Gozy been there, Gullah been there, yo. We just there doing what we gotta do, man. So we y'all know our outline we've been using, right? We've been using this. Hold on. We've been using, hold on. We've been using, damn. Here you go. Let me put this in here so y'all can follow along with us. All right. the prehistoric history of Egypt. All right, man. That's the outline we've been using. We've been going through explaining it. I put it in there for y'all. Okay. But you know, there's conversations on that Ramesses DNA. We're talking about that Ramesses DNA for a long time. And I understand the Ramesses DNA. You got to understand it, right? So like even when you're looking at your own DNA test and you see things like, man, that's interesting, you got to know what the hell you're thinking about and what you talking about before you say it, right? And so if we come to a Wikipedia article, okay, when it comes to the genetic history of Egypt, we probably end up doing a whole show on that because I think people are very, 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 very understanding terminology. So when we come here real quick, right? And let's drop down to the Ramesses III studies right here. Okay. So I always tell you that start with Wikipedia and end in the journals, right? And so if you look right here, it says in 2012, 2 mummies of two 20th dynasty individuals, Ramses III, right, and an unknown man, E, believed to be Ramses III's son. That's Petaware. It say were analyzed by Elwood Zink and Zera Zikad and a team of researchers under Zawi Hawass. Genetic kinship analysis revealed identical haplogroups in both mummies using the Witt Anthony's haplogroup predictor. Gozi probably can explain that more. He said it says the Y chromosome haplogroup E1B1A was predicted. And people, they lost their mind with this. And let's finish reading. It says in another study by the same author in 2020, which once again deals with the paternal lineage of Ramses III and the unknown E-man, possibly Petware E1B1A, shows its highest frequency in modern West African populations to 80% and Central Africa 60%. And so, first of all, one mummy, what does this mean? Does this mean that the Egyptians came from West Africa and had sex with? Did the West Africans came into Egypt and had sex, which later on produced Ramses? Because that's how it's being promoted, right? So before I bring something up, let me start with you, Gullah. In your mind, what is this telling us?
I mean, you did have in the Nile region, you did have Kadofian populations there. You know what I'm saying? Minorities that could have, you know, that lived amongst Nile-Saharan groups. So I can see how that gene or that West, you know what I'm saying, or that you know what I'm saying, or that Niger Congo, you know what I'm saying, that gene that's most common Niger Congo speakers could have leaked into Egypt. You know what I'm saying? When you peep out the Kadofi, even if you look at the phenotype, website I always use, they talk about the East Sudanian, you know what I'm saying, which is the common phenotype of Kadofian people. It shows like the you know what I'm saying, the yellow areas where it mostly dominated. Then it shows the greenish areas where, you know, where it kind of blends in other populations, and it blends into Egypt. You know, so it's not too far fetched for, you know what I'm saying, for a bottleneck reduction coming from the Kadofian speakers coming into, you know, Egypt. You know what I'm saying, by way of, you know, people migrating and moving. things of that nature.
Okay. Goes, you got something to say about that?
No, it doesn't mean anything. EV38 or E1B1A is a very old marker on the continent, and it goes back 40 something to 38,000 years. So it's the M2 mutation of it that's unique to the western phase of the Sahara a long time ago, because you have under EV38, you have two. You got one that went west 19,000 years ago and became M2 and the EM180, and you have one that stayed east, which is the EM329, aka E1B1A, E1B1C or E1B1A2. So you have E1B1A2 and you have E1B1A1. E1B1A1 is what most of us have at 80 to 90% of Western and Central Africa. E1B1A2 or E1C or the other clade is found in the Omo Valley of Ethiopia, and it never went anywhere. It's just a unique clade that developed somewhere in between those zones. So EV38 crossed over into the Green Sahara, and in some phases it developed sickle cell way before it even went south of the Sahara where we come from. Because again, the only thing that was in Central and West Africa before E1B1A came down there was old A and B Central and West African hunter gatherers before E1B1A came down, and that's what the Shamlanka grave that they found in Central Africa was about. E1B1A wasn't there. So the earlier ancestors of this E1B1A was found in the Sahara, and it falls in line with those Onanian populations that Brother Gullah speak of. But before they was even the Onanians, their earlier ancestors diverged from population groups that crossed over from the Sahara east to west. Fragmented populations, fragmented populations that was related to the Cormorusians that I always speak of, that went into two different directions. Now, if you see EM2 and not this other clade, which is E1B12 or E1B1C or E1B1A2 that's found in Omo Valley, you still find EM2 or E1B1A1 in Egypt at 10%. It's not the overall population. Most Egyptians have EB12 or EM78. 10% of the population has a unique cluster, and this is why we go back to the article called Peopling of the Early Green Sahara. There is a unique clade that developed in the Sahara that migrated into the east with population groups already there way before Ramesses was born. So him having EM2 a shared affinity with us, that's very old. That's not the overall DNA composition. Haplogroups only make up less than 1% of your DNA, and it's just your sex chromosome, and it doesn't recombine.
All right, freeze right here. You want to add something, Nazir Lee?
I would just say, I agree with everything that was said, but I would also, if we expound on this a little further into the implications of this, there are many implications. When you look at a haplogroup or a gene pool, a gene type in this case, that makes it into the royal families, that makes it into the elites of a country, that's not something that happens overnight. Okay, so this haplogroup and this family in this particular case, their ancestral grounds most likely were the Western Desert. In my research in the Western Desert of Egypt, a lot of these groups that eventually go on to populate the later Nile and live along the Nile and become the groups that become the dynastic Egyptians, there were two ways to make it into the Western Desert from my research. Of course, this is not taking into account the Eastern ways from like the Red Sea, from the Levant, that some groups could have made it into the Western Desert as well, into those oases specifically. You had a route through Libya. When you look in Libya right now, EM2 is, I don't want to say predominant, but it's up there. You have a high proportion of EM2 up there, right, in Southwest Libya. In my research, EM2 would have probably been predominant during the late Neolithic areas, late Neolithic times, I should say. Okay, and then you had a route through the Sahel, through the southern Sahara, where EM2 would have back migrated into the Nile Valley. So, in my opinion, this is the remnants of those that made it into the dynastic period, became part of the elite families at a very small percentage. During the dynastic period, you start to see, based on Onanian points, that move west to east, right? You see them at almost 35% in the Western Desert at certain times. When you look at Karga Oasis, study that. Carga A, Carga B, Carga C, Carga D, right? So doing Carga B at their highest, they had 35%. That shows movement from West Africa, or, to package it better, the Central Sahara. That shows movement from the Central Sahara, which West Africans would have took part in the Central Sahara during the time of the Green Sahara. They moving with those Onanian points, right? Coming in through Libya into the Western Desert, right? So as you get towards the Red Sea, the percentage of lithics that they find from the Onanian points, it begins to thin, which shows, how far they stretch, but it starts to thin. You might find 1 here, 3 here, 5 there. So it shows you that that was the extent that they went. As you get closer to the dynastic period, those Onanian points start to disappear. Okay. And there's other reasons why I'm saying that maybe small remnants of EM2 made it into, the elite families. So for me, that's a remnant of that. That at one time, that high EM2 percentage in the Western Desert. And I have slides and also other evidence where I can pull that up to explain that a little bit further. But I agree with everything that was said. That was just to give a little bit more context from my research.
I want to say, we don't even know if it really was, if Ramesses really, Y chromosomes really was exactly EM2 branch. We just know it's EV38. You know what I'm saying? But right though, like it probably didn't even have to come all the way from the Central Sahara at that time, because the heartland of Niger Kaddofian, which is the mother, the macro mother of Niger, proto-Niger Congo people before they even migrated to the Central Sahara, already come from the western parts of Sudan. You know what I'm saying? What they call the Yellow Nile region. You know what I'm saying? Which connect, the Chad and Nile Basin. You know what I'm saying? So the Niger Kaddofian family and their cultural you know what I'm saying, origins, so already come from that, that Nile Basin region, that particular area of the Nile, in the southwest.
And to add on to what both of you guys are saying,
Free. I want to read this. Hold on. I want to for the audience, because it has been a lot said, and I want to put some chronology in perspective. I want to put we got to put that in perspective, because people that are actually claiming the Ramesses, the E1B1A, right? They're acting like the Haplogroup just migrated straight to the Nile Valley. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't even understand all that. But right here, we'll put it in proper perspective and we understand chronology. So if you just look right here, the Haplogroup EV38, formerly E3A or E1B1A, right? Now watch this. Possible time of origin. Look. All right. That's 41,400. Okay. Now, coalescent age. All right. That's 39,200 year BP. Now, what's the possible origin of it? Is it originating in West Africa? No. It's in East Africa. So depending on the time period, you can expect to have that there. That's not abnormal. That just makes sense. East Africa. How close is East Africa to the valley? Well, the valley is part of East Africa. That's why I'm always very clear and call ancient Egyptian population a Northeast African population. So when we have things like this, we can really get into it and see it. Okay? Now, ancestor, EP2. Our Dr. Semantic always talk about the EP2, right? And that connection to all of Africa. He talks about that. Now, who are the descendants? Here we go. Watch this. EM2 and EM329. They're the descendants. All right. Now, watch this. It's a Haplogroup EV38, also known as E1B1A. V38 is a major human Y chromosome. Okay. It's the males. DNA. It says EV38 is primarily distributed in Africa. So it's an African thing here. All right. Now, EV38 has 2 basal. When we say basal, we talk about the most ancient. When you hear Gullah and Ngozi talk about the basal, they talk about the most ancient branches. Now, watch this. It says EM2, EM329 and EM2, EM329 is a subclad mostly found in East Africa. EM2 is predominantly a subclad in West Africa, Central Africa, Southern Africa, and regions of Africa, Great Lakes. It also occurs at moderate frequencies in North Africa, right? So it's not out of order, it's just lower in frequency there. West Asia and Southern Europe. All right, that's important to kind of understand it. It goes on to say the discovery of the SNPs, V3, 8, and V100 by Tone Better, 2011, significantly redefined the EV38 phylogenetic tree. This led to authors suggested that EV38 may have originated in East Africa. It's a V38 joins West Africa affiliated EM2 and Northeast African affiliated EM329. It's a with an earlier common ancestor who, like EP2, may have also originated in East Africa. I'm gonna finish it right here. It says the downstream SNPs of EM180 may have originated in a humid South Central Sahara. That's what the brothers was talking about, right? Savanna grasslands in North Africa between 14,000 and 10,000 B.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to kind of put a source on it so we can finish. Let me finish out. So the point I'm trying to make here, it's not unusual to find that Haplogroup in the valley. What's unusual is to act like that particular walk from, watch this, West Africa to the time of Ramses. That's the unusual thing right there. That's when I call somebody's messing that up. That's when I say doesn't sound right, doesn't make sense. Now, over time, right? We're talking about thousands of years, right? And Nazir, here attest to this, right? These ancient populations, they migrate. Okay, like if the human population started in the Rift Valley, right, somewhere in that area, right? If we got a population almost go extinct at 160,000 years, and thus far we found them in South Africa, then humans got to migrate back up from out of South Africa, right, and split off, right? And so you would expect these ancient Haplogroups to go from the Rift Valley, Morocco, these areas, all the way down to South Africa, looking for refugium, looking for food sources. You would expect that. That's not unusual, but it's not. It's the problem is when people make it one event. It's not a one event thing. It's a over time thing. It's a migration thing. It's not like they got cell phones and roads and cars and driving through these areas. That's not what's going on here. So it's the mischaracterization of that E1B1A, right? Just troubling to me. Anybody want to add on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, as we go further back in time, as you stated, Brother Ankh, and as Shamaka Keita stated in the past, EP2 or E1B1 bands all Africans together, north, south, east, west, whatever, way down the line paternally. E1B1 is the predecessor of E1B1A and E1B1B, and all of the downstreams that come out of it. But the point is, like I stated earlier, EM180, which developed in the Green Sahara a long time ago, way before our downstreams, my EP252, which is E1B1A7A, or clades of E1B1A8A. The predecessor root developed with men in the Sahara, this late the earlier base, before we even went south and mixed up with Western Central African hunter-gatherers, before we even become these new ethnic groups that's formed. Yoruba is a new ethnic group. The Fulani developed in the Situ around the Sahel Belt only 1,000 years ago from older populations. The Yoruba was only shaped between 2,000 years ago as an ethnic group, not the genetic signatures that make them up from populations. There has been a lot of turnovers. But what I'm saying is that this fraternal marker, an EM180, was lingering in the Sahara. And this is when Gullah and Nazi speaks on way before Ramesses, because Ramesses III is the son of Senecat, and he's not related to Ramesses II paternally. So let's not think that Ramesses II was that. We're just stating that some layers of this EM2 was lingering in the Sahara and went into multiple directions. And a small wave of them migrated to Egypt thousands of years before Ramesses was born. And this does not make Ramesses your ancestor in the sense of this is your granddaddy. No. It's time. Probably 6,000 to 8,000 years before he was born, from Onanian population groups that was lingering around and going into different directions. That's it.
It probably through but the particular Onanian population probably was the Proto-Cadofian speakers, you know what I'm saying, in that region that stayed along the Wadi Hawar, which was already the ancestral lands of Proto-Cadofian speakers in the first place, but Niger-Cadofian speakers, you know what I'm saying, which where they all split from before they went into, you know what I'm saying, the like on the eve of the eve of the Heliocene period. I talked about this last night on the show when I did the people in West Africa. Nazi, you should check that out. Did on my show last night.
Did you go at me? Did you go at me on there?
No, I'm gonna share it to you. You know what I'm saying?
And also to add on to what Gullah's saying.
I got something to share too.
To add on to what Gullah's saying, all clades of E1B1A did not go west. It's only the M2 that rolled. There's a clade that's in East Africa called E1B1A2.
You fade now, Gozy. You fade now.
Yeah, because most got E1B1C. You know what I'm saying? Where all of them split at one point in time, at least around 30,000 to 40,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Where they was a lot of them what they call the three major African linguistic ethno groups. You know what I'm saying? Afro-Asiatic, Nilo-Saharan, and Niger Congo languages. You know what I'm saying? They all come from some type of ancient East
Is a
Africa.
yap.
Yeah, your phone
Or the
messing
yap
up.
marker.
We
This is what shapes the
we
yap
ain't heard
marker.
nothing you said, bro.
Yeah, you went out, bro.
Yeah, you went to the black
Listen,
hole.
all right,
What
listen.
makes the yap marker very unique, the yes associate protein for this yap marker, all of the DE or EM96 is that it's close bridge, but it has distant time, but it's close compared to the non-African populations that went through bottlenecks and further genetic drift. The yes associate protein on this paternal marker on the EM96 or macro haplogroup E or DE, it's all bridge, but still have a unique time distance from one another. This is what makes the yes associate protein so distinct from the other non-African population that has further genetic drift and further bottlenecks. Let's get that correct. So you got to understand these markers. I don't get excited about haplogroups because they only make up less than 1% of your DNA, and it's a sex chromosome. It doesn't determine who you are. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It can tell you a deep
they can
ancestral
move.
lineage.
They can
But
move
it
and
can move.
shift and come into gene. You know, it moves with gene flow. You know what I'm saying? They come from particular haplogroup. We know they come from a nucleus population at one point in time, but they can shift. You know what I'm saying? When we're looking at more current, you know what I'm saying, populations. But I had something to share too.
I want to finish reading that.
I'm just after this. I'm gonna let you know I got something to share too after this.
I got you. Shiner in 2018 similarly suggests that Haplogroup E1B1A V38 migrated across the Green Sahara from east to west around 19,000 years ago, where E1B1A1 M2 may have subsequently originated in West Africa or Central Africa. Schreiner 2018 also traces this migration via sickle cell mutation, which likely originated during the Green Sahara period. I think we all agree to that. And so we got to be careful in the way we putting these things together. I always say, yo, when you listen to the show, remember we're going to be very careful with time, okay, dates, that's chronology, movements of populations, how they move, and recognize that they don't got no daggone street lights and paved roads. And we're talking about ancient migrations within itself shows that human beings will walk around the world, but it takes time. So like on Monday, they didn't start leaving Africa and end up in the Americas on Tuesday. That's a ridiculous.
Let me speak on that real quick. The movement, right? You've got the Fulani, right, from Senegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It took them 500 years, and I'm not arguing either way. I'm just giving context. It took them 500 years to walk from Senegal. This was like 500. No, this was like 1,000 or so years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
500 years to walk from Senegal to Ethiopia and the Sudan. Now, of course, me and Ngozi spoke about this. They would have had a mule or a donkey at this time, right? So the men walking possibly and the women riding donkeys, mules, this would have gave them better endurance to probably go for longer or walk for longer periods of time, right? But all I'm trying to say is it took them 500 years from
They
one.
rode on cows. They rode on them cows too sometimes.
Okay, I'm just saying, you know, it took them 500 years to move from West Africa to. Let me pull the source up. The Fula Jatan. This was in more recent times. Hold on, just 1 second.
Yeah, they stopped. I think they stopped. They stopped in Sudan though. They didn't go through Ethiopia. They stopped in Sudan.
Man, what's the time period though?
The source said they went to Ethiopia as well.
So let me see. We got people in chat room. Gullah, stop, line, bro. The Kodo. Like, why not just pop on the show? We can already drop the link and just have intelligent conversation. Yo, like everybody got heart. Yo, watching that shit from the sideline.
I got a source though to back up what I'm saying.
Gullah, come on, yo. Everybody got heart on the sideline, yo. You know how nice I am watching NFL football. Y'all have made that play.
I think that whoever they just get up here and we can all build. I mean, nobody's
talking crazy.
Nobody's talking in absolutes. And I think when people try to talk in absolutes, come on, man, we all can postulate. Seriously.
That's right. Come on, bro. And we got sources to back it up. And I'm trying to figure out, you know what the weird thing is about this whole thing, period, and why, I felt the need to develop a show like this. The weird thing about it is we're talking about Africans. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about Africans and how they traverse the continent of Africa. Hunter-gatherer tribes. We talk about topography, right? We talk about the flora, the fauna, flora, plants, fauna, animals. You act like we talk about some people from Mars, man. They thought the same way y'all thought.
Hey,
you see a chick, you gonna get with it.
hey, you know what's interesting?
It's crazy, yo.
I see one of the people in the comment section, and languages. They say the Kadopians is more Nilo-Saharan genetically. Okay, but you have Nilotic or Nilo-Saharan speakers who are autosomally distinct from Dinka, Nuer, and other Nilo-Saharan speakers. The Taboo, for example, if you look at the Taboo Y chromosomes, they're not common with other Nilo-Saharan speakers. So we can't look at a language family single-handedly and say that the language family, just because they exist in one area, can overall autosomally match with certain populations, because the Taboo people who live in southern Chad and northern Cameroon, they are Nilo-Saharan speakers. But when you look at them autosomally, half of their DNA in some layers is Eurasian, old Eurasian. I'm talking about these niggas got T, R, and all types of markers, and another layer is related to people that's Eurasian, and they're distinct from other Nilo-Saharan speakers. So it gets real tricky.
They cluster more with like Amaziques and.
Or let's look at the or let's look at the Chadic speakers. The Chadic speakers.
Chadic,
They the only Afro-Asiatic speakers. They got a large amount of Y chromosome R1b, but autosomally they fall in line with Nilo-Saharan type people. But this what I'm saying is haplogroup shit is not like it's old. People try to hold haplogroups. It doesn't mean anything especially when it comes to your overall autosomal DNA. You can have a man that's Y chromosome R1b M269 shared with people in the UK, but autosomally he may be 70 to 90% sub-Saharan. It doesn't determine who he is. So, but it does tell your deep ancestral lineage paternally or maternally. But that shit can go into all types of people and accumulate different genes. And 300 years later, he don't look shit like you, and autosomally he's not you. You have Puerto Ricans who are 70% Mediterranean, Spanish, Portuguese, but they have a haplogroup E1B1A, the same mark as me, EP252. But they don't look. That don't mean shit. Cut this shit out, bro.
Hey, can I show my screen up? Who should I ask?
This was just for me to bring a source with that statement I made. This is Holocene aquatic adaptation.
You straight skip me, bro.
Africa. Huh?
So you skipped me, bro.
So that everybody can see that. So if you need this source, you can go get it. That's all I wanted to show. All right. Talking about the Fulani, took them less than 500 years. Actually,
I'm right here.
Where your source at?
I'm sharing it right now.
Oh, All right, what you want to show? No, you want to? Oh, okay, that's you. I had. All right. All right, what's up?
Yeah, hold on, let me blow it up real quick.
Of course, whoever this dude is talking, of course, it's admixture. Get your ass up here and talk, bro. I'm not disagreeing with admixture. My point is, admixture happen. So you can have people with certain speak language families, but yet and still they because of admixture shit can change. That's my whole point. So the example is with Ramesses III. Ramesses III, who if he was E1B1A, because when you use certain calculators, it's not even E1B1A. Some people can say it's EB22. They're trying to question that. I'm going to look for the results February 2025 to see if it's certain that he was E1B1A. But if he was, it's okay because 10% of the Egyptian population has a unique clade of E1B1A that belongs to a unique segment that's been shaped right there. So I'm not tripping over that. But if he's not, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, by the time Ramesses III was born, he may have some Onanian ancestors that brought that mark in 6,000 years before his ass was born, and they would have
Yeah,
made the smaller population. Has
this
nothing to do
this
with what he looked like.
this source actually back up what you just saying and goes, look, it said Godolphin. It said an unusual feature of geography of Niger Congo is the location of Godolphin languages. The hypothesis is that the set of languages in the Nuba Mountains form a coherent branch of Niger Congo is due to Greenberg 1963. Greenberg made one significant error, including the Nilo-Saharan Kadu languages, and it said for the fresh data and the history of these, I did say look at Blanche and Schroederberg, and it said, however, the other groups he identified are generally accepted as Niger Congo. Abundant new data has now questioned the coherence of Godolphin as a single branch, despite the isolation. Godolphin languages might be constitute as many as 4 independent branches. Blanch 2013. This points to an existence of a corridor joining the Nuba Hills to West Africa, along which various foragers groups may have traveled. No reconstruction for the names of crops have ever linked Godolphin with West Africa, so there would have been hunters trekking eastward prior to arid period after 5500 BP. Blanche 1995 argued that the ravine corridor represented by the Wadi Hawar, which formerly ran from the Nile confluence to the eastern Chad, attracted pastoralists westwards, and huntable mammals along its banks may have functioned in a way similar to the Green Corridor across the Sahara. Y'all see what I'm saying?
Absolutely, brother Gullah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I see
And
what you're saying.
that's from Roger Blanche, Africa over 12,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got that up on my screen right now.
So I wonder what's the issue.
What's the issue with what?
I got this map. Too. Hold on, let me show this map real quick.
It's not none of us on the panel. It's certain people in the community that's holding on to markers to say, hey, this proves that we was Egyptians, and it doesn't prove anything. It doesn't. Like
Could you show this
26.
map real quick? This map is from 16,000 years ago. This is basically on the eve. This map is showing from let me show you from 16,000 to 15,000 BCE. And it's you know what I'm saying, it's showing you basically on the eve of the Heliocene before the greening of the Sahara. This is uninhibited right here. You see the Iranian culture or the East Iranian, those are the same thing as Iberian Marusian. That's synonymous with Iberian Marusian. When some people say, some archaeologists say Iranian, some people say Iberian Marusian, but it's the same thing. See this uninhibited, You see right here in West Africa, you had the last persistent Middle Stone Age cultures, which was Tyrian cultures, who migrated down here from a previous greening of the Sahara and mixed in with archaic Lippy Bond culture in this region. And then you have over here, you have what Keith McDonald called the post-Tyrian cultures. You know what I'm saying? With the major, you know what I'm saying, ancient East African language families, you know, Niger Gaddafi and here, which we're talking about, you know, along the Wadi Hawar area, you know what I'm saying? This is the ancestors of Niger Congo people, you know what I'm saying, when they split, you know what I'm saying, when the green had happened, you know what I'm saying, the people that went into the Green Sahara, you know what I'm saying, those became the proto Niger Congo people, you know what I'm saying, or the Ananian, you know what I'm saying, the Ananian groups. The ones who stayed, you know what I'm saying, within these areas, you know what I'm saying, were the Kadofian people, and they trekked eastward, you know what I'm saying, went into the Nuba Hills around 55,000 BCE, you know what I'm saying, living along as a minority along these Nilo-Saharan groups. This is the heartland of Nilo-Saharan groups before they even split and went to different directions. A lot of them even went into, well, we were talking about their pottery, that wavy line pottery even started in these regions, spread it out, you know what I'm saying, in different regions. But not before, you know what I'm saying, the Niger Congo people created their pottery, you know what I'm saying, when they went west, you know what I'm saying, to the Mali region. They created, you know, the earliest pottery started here, but the independent pottery started here in these Nilo-Saharan regions. You know what I'm saying? During the, you know what I'm saying, during the Neolithic period. But I'm just showing you this map, just give people a viewpoint. You know, we were talking about, you know, people starting, you know, those markers starting in the east. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of those E markers, E1B1A, E1B1E. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these different groups had those markers over here. You know what I'm saying? But the Nilo-Saharans are the most basal group over here. They harp on A's and B's, and you know, it's early A B markers, but it's more so probably like Hadza-like markers. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was talking about the Hadza-like or Nilo-Saharan-like, you know what I'm saying, components.
Let me see here. All right, so got you. So okay, that's good. So let's move forward on where we at, man, and then about 5 more minutes, man, we'll drop the link, man. I want to get into so all the chatties in the patty, man, and the chatty patties. We call them chatty patties. You talk that talk. When them bright lights hit, though, that whole situation changed, man. So now we was dealing with
Lights, camera, action.
Lights, camera, action. So we did the Hoffian and the Cubanian culture, the Sababian, and my son, the Sibyllian culture, the Kudan culture. We did that.
They said Kadan culture on here on the map.
You
know what I'm saying? Coming out of the Afro-Asiatic groups.
Prehistoric Egypt. Okay. So let's get right here. Are we in Neolithic proto times? Hold on. Okay, so we right here. All right. No, did we stop? Yeah, no, we did that. Sickles, grinding stones, up and even round. So we talked about this. Go back and look at
We
the
went down.
last
We
show.
was at
Man, we was right here with the Fayum. We did the low? We did the Fayum B and Qumranian culture. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's around where we at, because that's the Epipaleolithic. So we're still around this phase right here.
All right, so we round this phase right here. All right, yeah, and that's when we got into the Caspian and Proto-Mediterranean. There's
the cap. It's Capsian.
I want to do this. I want to do this. Gozi talk about this all the time. Mediterranean. It said the Mediterranean race, also Mediterroid race, is an absolute racialized classification. What does this mean? A concept of race as categorized of anatomically modern human has an extensive history in Europe and in Americas. The contemporary word race itself is modern. Historically, it was used in the sense of nation's ethnic group during the 16th, 19th century. Hold on. Hold on a minute. All right. During the 16th, 19th century, race acquired its modern meaning in the field of physical anthropology through scientific racism. Starting in the 19th century, with the rise of modern genetics, the concept of distinct human races in the biological sense has become obsolete. Okay. In 2019, The American Association of Biological Anthropology stated the belief in races and natural aspect of human biology and structures inequality, racism emerged from such beliefs are among the most damaging elements of the human experience, both today and in the past. Y'all want to add something to that? I think that's important right there. All right.
Hey, that's a fire. That whole article right there, Friday, the historical concept of race. That's a good article to read. But when we talking about Mediterranean race, that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's outdated racial culture. But when we talking about Mediterranean cultures, you know what I'm saying? That's something different.
All right. Okay. All right. So let's move on. We got the thing there, and plus let me see. All right. So where we at? We at the.
We can speak about the. I got a slide. I got actually a PDF article.
And I wish y'all could actually control this because I gotta. Let me see.
Because I would say, since we talking about Mediterranean cultures, you know what I'm saying? Egypt definitely contributed, heavily to Mediterranean culture. You know what I'm saying? Even when we think of.
So where you at, Cozy?
Even when we think of it, you know what I'm saying?
All right, let's get this last.
And, you know what I'm saying? The bread basket and all that.
Hour and 21 minutes.
Flat breads and things. And even in
all right, how long you gonna take? I'm
just gonna make a quick point. This may take me.
I gotta make a quick run real quick. Hold on. Yo, where you at? Gozy gone already. Where the hell you at, Gozy?
This is the German archaeology.
I'm right here. I'm listening to y'all. I'm just listening.
All right, well, we right there. Give me a sec. Go ahead, y'all rock off from right there. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is epigraphy through 5 millennia, and this is epipaleolithic rock art from the East Bank near Aswan. And the reason I'm bringing this out because during the epipaleolithic, which roughly ranges from about 7,200 BCE down to 6,000 BCE, give or take. If you look at let's look at it right here. If you go to the Epipaleolithic in Egypt, the Epipaleolithic is a term to refer to the period between late Paleolithic and Neolithic from 10,000 to 7,000 to 6,500 years before the present, right? So we're looking at about 8,000 down to about 4,500, right? With groups that are using these type of tools or groups that they classify into these categories. Now, during this time, you've got two main groups, which range from about 7,200 BCE down to about 6,000 BCE. And that's the Fayum B culture, which they talked about briefly last week. And that's also El Kab, right? El Kab located along the Nile further south, right? 70 miles south of El Kab, you have a site called Aswan, right? Now, El Kab was also connected to the Red Sea. It was connected to tree shelter, right? And Sardine Cave loosely, right? Scholars vary when they try to lump tree shelter and Sardine Cave together. Some say they are linked together. There's a few I saw that said they don't link them together, but they basically share a lot of similarities. So you can pretty much link them together. Okay. Now, I'm not arguing for the ethnicity of those groups, but tree shelter is definitely connected to El Kab. They find Onanian points at tree shelter, at Sodium Cave, and they find them and El Kab is connected to that. So El Kab was basically seasonally bouncing back and forth between the Red Sea coast and the Nile, East Nile. And they will also have connections to the cargo oases in the Western Desert. But I want to go down just to show you some of their rock art. If you go through this article, please download the article. It's free online. You get to see a lot of rock art from this time period in Egypt. It's not talked about too much, but you see a lot of the hierarchical iconography. You get to see the feathers on people's heads. So you can see where a lot of the symbolism that we see during the dynastic period and the pre-dynastic period, stems from these people, meaning these people would have taken part in that, right? Because they have the oldest rock, some of the oldest rock art in the Nile Valley with those type of depictions on it. Okay, so I want to go down here to human figures. Okay, right here, and then I'll show some of the rock art. So on page 139, under human figures, among the various epipaleolithic depictions representing human figures, some are executed in a simple abstract style with only the head, hands, and feet being indicated. Other human figures are more elaborated, such as with headdresses that may be understood as feathers or crowns. Some figures carry a bow and arrow or hold a stick or a staff, occasionally surmounted with some type of symbol. Those equipped with the latter are possibly high-ranking individuals such as chiefs. The shapes of some human figures found in the East Bank area near Aswan resemble figures that occur in the Epipaleolithic rock art panels on both the East and West Bank opposite Aswan at El Hash, north of Kam Ambo. So I'm going to show you some of these symbols you can see here. You see right there on that rock, you see the individual holding the staff, you see the feathers on the head, and you see other rock art, from these groups. So it's definitely something to look into. You see here, you see art that you would see later as well on this rock here to the far right at the bottom. You see the animals that they're hunting right here. You see the bull or cow, depictions of that. You see, looks like a leopard or possibly, yeah, I would say a leopard. If you come up, so this is definitely a good article. So that's pretty much all I wanted to speak on in regards to that. Let me stop sharing the screen. So definitely check that out. But you got to remember, it's only 2 groups on the Nile during this period. All the rest of the groups majority are in the Western Desert, stretched all up and down, north to south, up to what they call the Great Sand Sea, which kind of is a barrier almost as you go up north towards Libya. But as I stated, during the time of Herodotus, he speaks about routes that the Gramantians knew about where they could travel from the Western Desert to the Fezzan. So, how much weight you want to add to that, I don't know, but I will say this. In my opinion, it holds a lot of weight because if you look at the archaeology of the Gramantian cemeteries, the rituals, the statues, everything that they pretty much were using, even their burial grounds, they have almost exact replicas of the pyramids, the mastabas, a lot of ceremonial type relics that they have in their archaeological, findings, all relate back to Egypt, ancient Egypt. So they definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, had connections to ancient Egypt. And I can pull scholars up and sources up now demonstrating that. So as I stated, right now they are in southwest Libya, right? But in the ancient, you go back, I want to say maybe 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, their ancestors would have stretched over further, in my opinion, down into the Western Desert. They definitely took a part in that. Matter of fact, their one of their practices goes back to the Green Sahara, which is labrets, facial piercings, lip plugs, ear plugs, cheek plugs. They still practice that. When you go look at their burial surveys, you still see that was a custom, a tradition of theirs. Where did they get that from? So there's a lot of indicators, tracing them back. So where y'all want to go with it? That Western Desert, I think it's crucial to really understanding Egypt. If you have not studied the Western Desert, in my opinion, when you talk about, everybody know about Nabta Playa. Everybody know about Burkina because they're pretty much connected. Usually when scholars talk about one, they talk about the other, right? But they also had Ananian points in Nabta Playa. Okay. So then as you go north to Karga, you go to Dakhla, you go to Bashindi, AB, and other sites, Farafah, you see these Onanian points. But not only Onanian points, you see certain lithics. The Fam area, which we're in that time period, right? Fam B. They also have connections to the Western Desert. The Badarians also have connections to the Western Desert. So what am I saying? Basically, this is that the ancestral grounds for the dynastic ancient Egyptians, of course, the Western Desert. But as time went on, whereas in the Western Desert, they became almost minimalized or marginalized, I should say, because the lifestyle practices that they had they continued to be hunter-gatherers, and they never wanted to adopt or adapt to an urban lifestyle. They didn't want to go live on the Nile like some others who were a little bit more ambitious. Like it took kahunas, it took ambition at that time to go live along the Nile. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in times past, they were able to thrive in the Western Desert. That's why they were there. You had oases there, you had animals there, and everything was all good. And a lot of those groups were in the Green Sahara, right? A lot of those groups, some of them come from out of the Sudan as well. So they were accustomed to hunting and gathering. They had the tools, the Onanian points, which I don't know if you understand this, but at one point in time, that was considered high technology. They were using bow and arrows, which allowed them to be more competitive than other groups around them who were still using spears. And not only were they using bow and arrows, their particular spear allowed them to take down big game, like large game, right? So instead of shooting 30 arrows, because we had these small projectiles, they were shooting very large precision, killing, I don't want to say killing machines, but they were very efficient and prolific in their job, right? So I might have to shoot them once or twice. So we're talking about the Western Desert. I heard a person say, what's my point? We're talking about the Epipaleolithic. We're talking about the Fayum B, the Quranian culture. We're talking about El Ka, two cultures that are along the Nile, right? Two cultures that are along the Nile and have their ancestral grounds in the Nile, in the Western Desert. The Badarians. I know we're not that far yet, but their ancestral grounds are in the Western Desert, right? So the Western Desert begins to get marginalized. Eventually, during the dynastic period, right, they look back at their ancestors as basically like you would look at someone that's from down south if you migrated to the north, right? You would look at them like their country, like they're outdated, like they're slow. And then you begin to exploit your one-time great cousins and great, brothers and sisters where you had once had connections. And I may be jumping too far, but Ankh stepped away, so I'm just trying to build and carry it for a minute till he stepped back in. At any time, Gullah, Ngozi, I don't know if he's still on here, but Gullah, jump in, bro. And we can build on that Epipaleolithic.
Oh yeah, but with the Badarians too, they would have had not only of course Western Desert, because they would have traveled to the Western Desert, but they also would have had ancestors coming from the Red Sea too. So by them being north, most likely North Eritrean or Eritreic speakers. So these northern Afro-Asiatic speakers. What I'm saying, from a base perspective.
Okay. All right. So when you say that, right? Let's say
because
let's talk
people
about.
move, because people move around. You know what I'm saying? Because even like the Nile is in the Sahara. You know what I'm saying? So even the eastern deserts and the western deserts would have been green. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, so during the green phase, because they both, what I'm saying, like the Nile itself is a river oasis in the Sahara. It just slap down in the middle of the Sahara itself.
So what's your thoughts on because I noticed I do it too. I mentioned the Red Sea, right? And in the chat, if you have any opinions on these groups in the Red Sea, throw it in the chat. Let's build around it, right? Because when we talk about the Red Sea, we almost talk about it in the sense like these people come in from the Levant. So
no, I'm talking about they coming up from the southern Red Sea hills, in Africa. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? That's a region itself. You know what I'm saying? The eastern the eastern not the eastern but yeah, the eastern desert. You know what I'm saying? Them areas was fertile too at one point in time. That's what a lot of the proto-Cushitic groups come from in the first place. And that's like a not only to do them because they are themselves a basal group. You know what I'm saying? They are a basal group of Afro-Asiatic speakers. You know what I'm saying? More especially more basal than the northern ones because a lot of like they kind of like a example of the northern, you know what I'm saying, groups, you know what I'm saying, before they, migrated north and became who they was. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? But
okay,
like, but they just stay within them ancestral regions into contemporary times and became like the Proto-Cushitic groups. You know what I'm saying? They traveled, they even traveled, so like you still got the Bija groups that are today. You know what I'm saying? They the northern Cushitic groups. And then you still got like the southern Cushitic groups who travel south and went into, you know what I'm saying, the horn of Africa, you know what I'm saying, even deeper, you know what I'm saying, during different time periods.
All right, where y'all at?
we was talking about the Epi-Paleolithic. We was talking about Phi B. We was talking about El Cobb, the two cultures along the Nile at that time. I showed some rock art that had iconography on there that dealt with kingship, royalty. They had the feathers on their head.
Oh yeah,
And
that's a non-Saharan trait right there. That feather
Again, let me see that. Let me see that.
I don't know about that, Gullah, and I'll tell you why. Let me pull it back
Let
up.
me see it again. I'll tell you what it is.
Let me pull it back up because you can trace that to Natufians also.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying the Tufians had it because they proto-Nilo-Saharans. Like even if you look at like that's why I said the Nilo-Saharans are the most basal group of that region. Them dudes got A and B markers, bro, or early E markers. You know what I'm saying? They the oldest group. You know what I'm saying? They're the most basal group that actually lived in contemporary times and got with the way, even doing pastoralism. You know what I'm saying? Even the Afro-Asiatic groups, you know what I'm saying? It's probably like most likely that's why they got that Mota, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, the Tufi got 6% Mota ancestry was likely come from them groups that came in and brought that ostrich feather type, you know what I'm saying, culture there. They already came from, you know what I'm saying, a common ancestor from a proto-Nilotic type group anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they would have
So
harped on that
right
culture.
here.
Yeah. This is I was just trying to give you the name of it, but this Epi-Paleolithic rock art from the East Bank near Aswan. Now this is 70 miles south of the second occupied site on the Nile during the Epi-Paleolithic. This was near El Cobb, which had connections to tree shelter in the Red Sea Hills.
But that's close over here in the side too.
Okay, right. I do that, but I'll go down right here. I just want to go to human figures before I just switch to all the rock art, right? But if you look at human figures right here, it says among the various Epi-Paleolithic depictions representing human figures, some are executed in a simple abstract style with only the head, hands, and feet being indicated. Other human figures are more elaborated, such as with headdresses that may be understood as feathers or crowns. Some figures carry a bow and arrow or hold a stick or staff, occasionally surmounted with some type of symbol. We don't even talk about that. Some type of symbol, early writing, proto writing. Anyway, those equipped with the latter are possibly high-ranking individuals such as chiefs. The shapes of some human figures found in the East Bank near Aswan resemble figures that occur on the Epi-Paleolithic rock art panels on both the East-West Bank opposite Aswan and at El Horesh north of Kamambo. So when we look at the art here, you see in the upper right hand corner, you see the individual holding the staff with what they're saying is either a headdress that's a crown or feathers. To me, it looks like feathers, and then you see others. You see a few of them actually up in the right hand corner.
I'm in the right hand corner, and it said make it bigger. That's why I said you got to put it over here so I can.
Okay, let me send it to you then, bro.
Yeah. Trying to say some people say I'm blocked. All right, we got blocked here. All right, let me see.
Hold on, let me send this to you.
Let me go to the actual chat.
Oh yeah, too. I also got information. A sort too up on the guinea fowl. You know what I'm saying, which is like a wild chicken or pheasant. The Cadopian populations also would have brought the guinea fowl into the Sudan. You know what I'm saying, and that guinea fowl. You know what I'm saying, because like they came in around 5500 BCE. Then when you look at the glyph of what they consider Nahesi, you know what I'm saying? Because that guinea fowl became, common among in Sudan, you know what I'm saying, when the people came, the Godofin people came in, uh, on the glyph of the term Nahesi, the symbol is actually a guinea fowl. You know what I'm saying, representing that southern bird.
Did that paste right out in the private chat?
All right, let me see here. And you're saying no, it was well. It wasn't like a hyperlink. Let me see.
Man, let me see.
I'm just copying. Let me see what I did there. Yeah.
Aswan Epipaleolithic rock art. If you type it in, bro, my bad. I don't know why it ain't.
It says the Paleolithic rock art of Wadi Abu.
Aswan.
Nah, well, shoot, Kel. Who's the author of it?
You know about the round head art.
Adele Kalani.
Yeah. All right. Let me see. I got it right here. What page?
Okay. Page. Hold on. Let me go back down.
East Bank of Aswan.
You can look at page 136. Page to get to what it is. Just go through all of it, bro. As you scroll down, you're gonna see different art.
Yeah, I'm right.
I would say if you're familiar with the kale Isuf in the round round-headed rock art, that's associated with Proto Congo and Onanian culture too. If you're familiar with that particular rock art.
So where was you reading where it said it was feathers? What was you reading?
Keep going down to human figures. Because it
137.
Just keep going down till you see human figures.
Just give me the page. 38.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Epipaleolithic motifs.
It should be coming up right there. Right there.
Okay, several motifs, human figures amongst the various Epipaleolithic depictions representing human figures. Some are executed in a simple abstract style. You see, with only the head and hands and feet bearing indicated. Other human figures are more elaborated, such as the head dresses that may be understood as feathers or crowns. Some figures carry a bow and arrow or hold a stick and staff, all right, occasionally surmounted with some type of symbols. Let me see. Those equipped with the latter are possibly high-ranking individuals, such as chiefs. The shapes of some human figures found in the East Banks and Aswan. All right.
So I'll be honest with you, bro. Like the Epipaleolithic, if you go back up, it ranges from 10,000 down to 4,500 BCE, right? But the earlier phase is the beginning of the Epipaleolithic, not the Neolithic portion, just the Epipaleolithic portion, right? Some of this writing, if it goes back that far with symbols next to these individuals, you know what I'm saying? The only rock art that can compare to that is Göbekli Tepe, and they don't even have human figures. It's just animals and then symbols. But these have human figures holding staffs, feathers, potentially crowns, and with symbols next to them that I would say would be it was something to communicate something to somebody, just like the animals were, which they were just showing that, hey, this is our lifestyle. These are plenteous in these areas, and we're prolific at killing them. So it's almost like demonstrating your prowess, demonstrating your that you're great at hunting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's also a rites of passage because hunting was a rites of passage during these times. I don't think people understand that as well. Like you would have to go on a great hunt to kind of become a man or become a great hunter. You know what I mean? It's no one way of looking at it.
Getting eaten the hell up.
Nah. I mean, they was doing what you see what they depicting on there. It was a cougar on there. I mean,
no, I'm saying, motherfuckers, that's why it's a great hunt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
What?
Valesia Bennett, you killing me. She was like, he reading it again.
No,
she was tired of hearing that Epi-Paleolithic portion.
What? Nah, she ain't tired of hearing that.
Okay, my bad.
Can't
Peace,
be.
sis. What's up?
We're trying to get it. Yeah, I dropped that link though for anybody who want to dive in. See how quiet it get when you drop the link? Then don't nobody want to drop in. They got a lot to say, but don't nobody got
it. So Gullah, this is the question I got, right? Let's touch back on when Gullah was talking about the pottery, right? Or trying to elude, he did it in a slick way. You know what I mean? But anyway, so tell me your thoughts, and I got a feeling you're gonna spin the hell out of this. But give me your thoughts on the Onanian points moving west to east in contrast to this alleged movement from east to west. What's your thought on the Onanian points moving from Mali and not even going along the Sahel or the Sahara, the typical route, Middle East?
Some of them have to come all the way from Mali though. Some of them already.
Hold on. Let me make this quick point real quick. The movement did not go along the typical route of the Sahel, Southern Sahara route. The movement, from my research, actually went north through another route. But go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
At the end of the day, it say that the wavy line was independent, bro. You know what I'm saying? It happened independently.
Yeah, but when you listen, when you say that, hold on, no, I'm not talking about the pottery right now, because when you say that, you're not just saying the pottery moved by itself. It's other things that go along with that model. So you can't just pick one out there.
Onanians didn't just come from Mali. They was all over the Green Sahara, bro. They actually came from the western parts of Sudan in the first place before they even went to Mali.
Well, I mean, everybody in the world came from the eastern part of Africa.
But I'm talking about, I just showed you the map where the position of Niger-Kaddofian people were at. They already were in that region, so anything Onanian would have been right there anyway. That's Niger-Kaddofian, a signature Niger-Kaddofian culture. You can even trace it back linguistically too. You know what I'm saying? The arrowheads and all that stuff. If you read Roger Blanch's work and area work, what they talk about. You know what I'm saying? Onanian culture.
Yeah, but Roger Blanch don't agree with the East to West movement, though.
He do. I just explained it. That source I showed you was a Roger Blanch source. When you talk about the Kaddofian people,
he got newer sources than that though. I can pull one up now. He don't agree with that.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's see.
Okay.
That.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a short one too. I made sure to make everything short today because
the Roger Blanch source is not that old. You know what I'm saying? That show is like 2020.
Hey, I just want the audience to know this is how you have a good bill. Nobody disrespecting one another, but we all in the same, you know what I'm saying, lane. We teaching, we just building. We ain't gotta do none of that. So the audience needs to take note to this instead of getting mad and calling each other out their name. No, this is what people do. We building. We in the Sahara.
Like to school.
Yeah, we in the Sahara right now. We just building, postulating, building.
Like they went to school and wrote a paper.
Let me know when you share.
Yeah, this 2017. This one I got.
Yeah, you sharing that? You sharing what we got? Hey man, hit that Cash App, man. While y'all can hit the Cash App, show some love, man. Let me see. All right. I got y'all, man. I appreciate you, man. That's love right there, man. Alexander Torres, he always the first person in, man. Appreciate that, man. Some love, man. Yeah.
Okay, you sharing the screen?
Yeah, the screen is
okay.
shared.
All right, my bad. Let me blow this up. Let me blow this up.
No, you showing our shit.
Huh?
Yeah, you showing the screen.
Okay, hold on.
Get together.
Yeah, exactly. All right, hold on. Let me stop there. Okay, here we go right here.
Let me know when you're ready. Trying to unblock Shesmo. I don't know how the hell. Shesmo, I don't even know how you block, bro. Let me see.
There you go.
All right, while you doing that, I'm gonna try to unblock Shesmo. You should not be blocked in the community of skeptics, bro.
Okay, so this is archaeology and language too. This is Roger Blinch. This is page 42, right? I'm skipping down here. Now he actually builds up and gives you the history of the aquatic and the Neolithic Sudan tradition, which they eventually changed. But we can talk about the background of that later. I just want to get to this. It says aquatic adaptations. Can everybody see that at the bottom? Okay, the more the entire notion of the aquatic, Sutton 74, 77, is scrutinized, the more it vanishes before our eyes. We are now unsure about an east to west directionality for the spread of ceramic technology, a former aquatic hallmark. The wavy line pottery motif, which was once used to distinguish it, has been shown to have been originally poorly defined, often confused with other techniques in analysis, and further to be very rare outside of the Nile Valley. Geneva and Marx, such true Saharan wavy line finds as there are occur as scattered shears in vast assemblages, are ill provenance and undated, or are dated to several millennia after the end of the Khartoum Mesolithic. In contrast, dotted wavy line pottery motifs would now appear to have originated in the Sahara and spread to the Nile Valley through exogamy, or exchange and borrowing. Still, there are bone harpoons and the entire aquatic sustenance adaptation, which first appears in the late Pleistocene of East and Central African lakes region. But even harpoon data, when scrutinized, reveals some odd inconsistencies. From all of the early ceramic sites of central Niger, bone harpoons and points are absent. From Chad, the main connecting point in any aquatic diaspora, only a single Neolithic harpoon is known. From Unanga Kibir, with 11 other finds spots usually illustrated on aquatic distribution maps pertaining to Iron Age finds. Besides, may we really infer cultural relations on the basis of a single functional item whose presence in Africa is now known to stretch into the late Pleistocene? Indeed, we are at a disadvantage in tracking even a limited 9,000 to 7,000 before the present expansion of an aquatic adaptation. The few rare research sites which would correspond all belong to the Hassi El Abiyad and Tintin facies of the Malian Sahara and the Mauritanian littoral, respectively. These facies, which date from the 7th millennium before the present and continue into the recent Holocene, are of non-food producing, primarily fishing peoples, equipped with geometric, microlith industries and globular spatulas and cone-marked pottery, but only in the case of Hassi El Abiyad are bone harpoons present. No true wavy line pottery has been identified from these sites, and there are no striking parallels between the Tintin and Hassi El Abiyad material cultures. Thus, while an aquatic adaptation may have spread as an idea from the Nile or even the Chad Basin during the early to mid Holocene, even the cultural unity of such an adaptation must remain strongly in doubt. Now,
hey, Nazi. Nazi, this source is from 1998, and it was ebook published in 2004. The source I showed is from 2017, bro. You said you had a newer source. This is old.
I got a newer source. Hold on, pull it up right now. Got
I
another.
thought that's what the hell you was pulling up. Oh man.
I got a bunch of stuff on here. That was
The
just
2017, I got the Roger Blanchard. He's showing the waveline power. On that same page I showed, he's showing the waveline pottery. He's saying it's not a Saharan related. And he talking about is associated with aquatic culture.
But you was trying to trick us, yo.
No, hold on. That ain't it.
Just
The
price.
whole bro, listen. We would have to. We really gonna have to go in this next source. Then we really gonna have to go in. Then I ain't even want to.
It's simple. I
ain't even want to pull this up because
no, it was a simple one. Don't make us complicated. It was
no.
simple.
This bro. The people got to really understand what they talking
No, we
about.
don't really got to understand. What we got to know is just do what you say you was gonna do. The discussion was that you had a source that was wasn't as old as what Gullah said. You said that Blanche doesn't agree. Blanche says they moved from west to east.
That source I just read was revised in 2011.
What? Okay.
So that book that I'm reading from, it was revised in 2011. So it's an updated version. Whenever somebody do a revised book, they update things within
No, I was revised in 2004, bro.
I can show you the book. It's downstairs.
I'm looking at the publishing right now.
Well, my book say 2011, but hold on, I got another source for you. Hold on.
but my source I showed it 2017, bro.
Nope, no problem. Hold on.
No, but I still want to see that statement being made, though. That's what I'm curious.
You have to show it 20. You have to show it 2020, 2023 or something, bro.
Man, just show it doing it. Period. That's what I'm looking for. Then we can get into it. Oh man, that's what I thought you was gonna show. Oh man, so you ain't showing that. Egypt, Hotel.
Bro, the lithics don't change. The lithics don't change.
That ain't
Hold
right.
on.
Messing with me right
The
now.
lithics don't change. We can do a whole show on that alone, or I can go on Gullah show and we can talk about it.
Dancing, doom, doom, doom. It's a dance machine. Oh baby, yeah, you hitting the dance.
Okay, stop screaming. Present. Here you go. Hold on.
Can I show something real quick?
Yeah, you can have he act like he's showing something he ain't got. You know what, man?
The screen up.
Yeah, it's up. What's that? What?
How old is
1800s. So, bro, do you know how old a model is for the aqualytic? Let me ask you, Gullah. What year did this model? Hold on, wait. What year did this model come out? You are what year did the model that you talking about from the spread from east to west?
What 1874?
No, 1949. 1949 and 1953. This was Arkell's work. And then
I mean, that's what when it comes to Sutton, ain't it Sutton 1974?
Sutton is 74, but Sutton adopted it from Arkell. Arkell came out in 49, 53. Arkell he first presents it in 74, then he does a book or article about it in 77. And it's been getting beat up since then, bro. Like nothing has changed. Like the original premise, the original model.
I don't think so, bro. I don't know what you're reading, bro. So I got the Roger Blanche. I got the Roger Blanche where I heard the updated version. He's saying it now.
But this is what you're doing. You hitting me with, that's an outdated source, bro. The model is from the 50s. The model has not changed.
I understand, but you acting why would he? You showing me an old source when he said, all right, they probably had the information in, but he on the updated source, he's saying it is an eastern migration. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's gonna deny an east-west spread of people at certain times.
He just showed it. He showed exactly what people he was talking about. He said Kadoku.
If this show is not strictly this show is not strictly dedicated to that. So we would take up literally this whole show right now if we get into this argument right now. So let's save it, Gullah. Me and you can discuss this. I'll come on your channel, bro.
You just say, let me show you how quick I do this. Look, I want to show you something, right? Because
I want to go, bro. I got so much to read out this source to beat, because I got to beat up every point. I got to beat up the pottery. I got to beat up the harpoons. I got to beat up the fishing bones. I got to beat up the reason why they even continue to use it. Then they changed it. Originally, it was just a Sudan. Then when they found older shit in the Sahara, they switched it up and changed it to the Sahara.
What year was this? What year this book came out, bro?
The 2000.
Bro, it don't matter. It don't matter what
It
year
don't
a
matter,
book
bro,
came
because I
out.
got
Your premise,
because in 2017, Roger Blanche ain't saying that.
your premise. The point is, your premise is
That's
a
not your point. The
1950.
point is that you claim you had something and you ain't did it. That is
I got something right here. Nothing's changed, bro.
You ain't gonna get me.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed about this. Is a 1949 model. You do know that it's called the aquatic tradition.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's a whole different.
So if you don't know what the aquatic,
never heard of it.
Culture of Middle Africa.
The aquatic culture. Even Eric talked about it. He talked about it in African civilization.
One second, Ngozi, where you at? Real quick, where you at?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah. Is it me or did this man just switch out? This man said he had a source with Roger Blanche saying that the population moved from west to east. After Gullah just showed that Blanche said from east to west. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to hear all that. Come on, man.
Yeah, Nazi, you said you had something more up to date. I think you said 20 something more up to date. What year did this book come out?
It's got a few different dates. I think originally it came out in 98. Then it got revised twice. The copy I got say 2011 on it.
Okay. Do you have any?
20 years old.
Do you have anything?
Mine 2017 though, bro.
Do you have anything from 2020 or 20?
Okay, in terms of Roger Blanche, no, I don't have anything newer from Roger Blanche.
Okay.
Then 2017.
I got 2023 Roger Blanche, bro. I got that one.
I've seen the 2020. I've seen the 2023 article he did dealing with the Green Sahara. I've seen that as well, and I haven't seen anywhere where he recanted anything he said. Or now in the book that you have, right? Did he recant any statements? Because usually they'll do this.
It's a Cambridge journal I got.
Okay, no problem. If I made a model and I put it out there, this would be like Christopher Orett putting a model out and then later saying something different, but never giving clarity as to why he said something different. So in the new book that you have, is Roger Blanche recanting or debunking anything he said before?
Freeze that for me. Everybody freeze. So watch this. This Pan-African designer, we put the link out there. He said these guys, he talking about everybody on the panel, think that older sources they're outdated simply because they're old. Make it make sense. Well, does anybody on the panel say that?
No, friend, we're not even.
No. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, Gullah.
You saying that, and Gullah saying that. Don't even try, bro.
Hey, Gullah, do you say this right here?
Right now, Gullah said.
I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Oh man, why y'all? Let me finish, Gullah. Do you say that just because a source is old means it's outdated? Do you say that, Gullah?
Yes.
No, not necessarily. Not.
Hold on, wait, stop! Don't do no explanation. Now we got two people. We got a person on the panel. He just making shit up now because he not being able to do what he said he could do. Right? So I'm gonna let you have that. But this guy in the chat room, he tripping. Check this out, bro. A source is now outdated into the information has proven it to be outdated. Not because the shit, because Charles Darwin shit ain't outdated. They just added more shit to it. You know what I'm saying? The ideas that he didn't get right, they don't put it out there. So just because a source is old doesn't mean it's out. What makes it outdated is that you have more material, right, that explains the situation better. That's what makes them outdated, not the time of the source, brother. So knock it off there, bro. You just want to get, I just want to get some shine because you're scared to get up on here. I see you travel everywhere else though, but you don't get
like
wait, if you can actually read it there.
And like for example, Roger Blanche back.
Nazi, hold on, wait, Nazi. How does it make any sense, bro?
Because
source? Hold on. Let me say this. How is a source outdated if you don't have new material that makes it outdated? The thing that makes something outdated is not the time of the source.
Yes.
I just want you to know that, bro.
I'm in agreement with you, but that's not based on the statements y'all made, unless y'all were just being sarcastic.
No. I'm saying is that you made a statement. You say, hold on, God, I got Blanche saying that the population moved from west to east. And all I asked you for the last 35 minutes, can I get that source? You just never showed that. That's all I'm saying, bro.
I also wait a minute. I
No,
also gave
no,
clarity. I also gave clarity.
So you changed the
No.
statement?
I gave clarity because
Rob.
initially what I'm beating up, what I'm debunking is the aquatic. That's the model that hold on, wait. That's the model you using and you don't even know you using it. That's the model that Gullah using and he don't even know he using it. It's from 1939.
I'm saying Roger Blanche is using that model in 2017.
Listen, let's take Blanche away. Let's take Blanche out of the argument. Right?
Spell it. AQ what? Aquatic.
AQUATIC. Aquatic Civilizations of Middle Africa. Or you can put
the key things. The key things basically.
Or you can put aquatic cultures or tradition. Either one.
Key things basically. The people, these are traditional Nilo-Saharan groups. You know what I'm saying? Who are still, had Paleolithic. You know what I'm saying? Hunter-gatherer living around along these lake regions in the Sahara.
I cannot believe y'all.
I don't agree, man. You running, bro. You running with Christopher Arrett.
Nah, that's what the experts say though, bro.
And when y'all really dig into this,
even I even got the recent word for Roger Blanche when we talk about forging to pastoralism in the Sahara from 2018, bro.
Bro, they didn't kidnap Blanche and drug him or something, bro. I swear. But no, let me say this,
bro. Because if you're going off that old Blanche, you still going off the Blanche that still go off the Niger Saharian model. He don't even use that model no more. He threw that out.
Nah, I don't like the way. I don't like the way we switch up. Hold on for a minute.
You don't know how important this is.
No, but I don't like the way. No, listen, I don't like the no clarity, yo. This sound like one of them other channels where niggas say something and then in the middle of us talk, he switch it real quick. And then we talk about that. I'm not doing it. I'm going on. Nope, I'm going back to Gullah made a statement. He said, he read Blanche's work, right? Am I right or wrong, Gullah?
Yeah, I wrote Blanche's work. Yeah.
He read it and it said what? The population migrated from east to west. Did he not say that?
Yeah, the Cadofian population.
Simple as that.
They travel east down to the Wadi Hawar.
Don't say nothing. Hold on. Then you jumped in, because I can replay it. You jumped and say, well, hold on. Blanche doesn't say it anymore. Yeah, I'm saying this is what he says now. And you haven't found it yet.
Several scholars.
Let me finish.
Several scholars.
Okay, but no, you said Blanche.
But I also said several scholars too.
That's fine, but I'm saying, but you haven't showed no scholars. You didn't put us on like Pan-African James would do. Like, I expect more out of you than that, sir. So can you please, just, if you don't have it, that's fine. But don't run me around start talking about something else. And then I want to challenge you on the aquatic. Hold on, I want to challenge you on the aquatic. Is the aquatic hypothesis? Let's figure out exactly what this is, because I think we need to figure this out. That's
all I'm saying.
Sometimes they call it aqualytic. Sometimes they call it aqualytic or aquatic.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
so hold on, no, you said it's outdated.
Listen, the audience know.
No, I don't.
What we're talking about.
The audience know what the hell we talking about.
No, they don't.
So listen, I'm saying to the aquatic coaches, you've said this for the last 3 shows. You said it for the last damn near 7 months. I'm saying you're wrong. It is not outdated. I just let you have it. I want to see how long he's going to say it. So this is what we're going to do. I want to read this right here. It says, is the aquatic culture outdated? The aquatic is far from outdated. In fact, it is rapidly evolving and expanding industry. Okay. So I'm listen, hold on. Wait, let me hold on. Let me get this straight.
Hey, I got the source I got. It got the dots on it, like the same dots. How you got the Egyptian dots with the Sahara. It got the dots of the archaeological sites, bro. There's a lot of them white little dots. Bro. These harpoons and this wavy line pottery, bro.
If the debate is right, because the debate didn't switch from if the source is newer. Hold on, it didn't shift it from if the source is newer than mine.
No,
so
that's not what that never was.
If basing it off of the Gullah have a newer source than me, he does.
That's not what we was actually. That wasn't the problem. The problem was you dove in out the window. You did that.
I don't just use Blanche to make the argument, bro. Okay, I don't need Blanche. I don't even need Blanche to make the argument. But he does make a general case for it. Something quick you can go to.
So listen, All right, hold on. In anthropology, the aquatic culture is not considered outdated.
Can you pull
Rather,
it up?
it remains a relevant, relevant and important area of study. Anthropologists examine aquatic culture as part of the broader investigation into human environment and interaction, food production systems, and cultural practices. The practice of aquatic culture is deeply tied to social, economic, and environmental contexts in which it is used. And anthropologists analyze these connections in both historical and contemporary settings, bro. All right. What?
I'm saying, can you pull whatever source you're reading from? That's just going to give us a general idea of what the aqualytic is.
Yes, I can.
Can you pull that up on the screen? Is that Wikipedia?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Can I show a source?
Because I just want to get everybody to understand what it is and how it has not changed. Because if it's evolved, then please do tell. Then please do tell.
Aquatic culture. Look, commonly spelled aquatic farming is a controlled cultivation. Farming.
No, he's talking about aqualytic. He's talking about aqualytic.
Oh, you want aqualytic? Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. You might have. Hold on. James, what's on your mind? You're the first guest on the show. What's up? Don't come in here.
Man, see, you invited me. I'm talking about. I'm scared to come on now. No.
What I'm saying is, there's a certain decorum we got, and the decorum.
Okay, I got all that. I always been calm.
No. Don't come up here without a source that we can look at. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to make.
Well,
if you want to make a statement that ain't nobody ever heard of, an idea you got.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you say aquatic? Aqualytic. What was it?
Aqualytic. It's aqua and then liquid. Lithic.
Got you. All right, go ahead, Mr. James.
Well, I mean, I just came on maybe just kind of see because the statement on the screen here says, I said these guys think that older sources mean outdated simply mean just simple because it's older make it make sense. The reason why I did that or why I said that is because the brother had a source and then it seemed like it got discarded based on the age of the source.
No, it got discarded because it didn't say what he said.
Okay, well, I don't know. But
and then we talking about the same person. We talking about the same person. If somebody saying something, if
he got to defend that. I don't know.
If Rosa Blanche is saying something in 1998, then he's saying something else in 2017. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but he never debunks. The problem is he never debunked what he said. If you can show where he said I was wrong, you know what? So I'm putting out something to update it. That was never done. But there are also other sources that debunk the aqualytic because it's very problematic. That's why they changed it several times. And all I'm saying, if you know the origin of it, where it comes from, the model is from 1949. So the model itself has not changed. If you can tell me, Gullah, right now, what has changed from 1949 to now? What do they know different?
So you changed what you're saying.
Bro, nothing's changed, bro. We can do, like I said, Gullah, look.
Now they just putting, shoot, they got the keyframe artifacts. Bro, they got all that.
Nothing's changed. Bro, nothing's changed, bro. We can do that on your show. I don't want to take up.
At the same time, it's still relevant though. It
is relevant, but bro, this would be a whole week. Come on, man. We finna do a deep dive. We finna go down a rabbit hole because I got a lot to read. If we about to do it, if you really want to do this, we can do it. Pull the source.
I got some sources too.
For no reason.
But the problem is when I tell you like the issues with the aqualytic, are you going to be able to debunk that or show differently? You can't because the aqualytic has not changed. It's a 1949 model. Nothing has changed. That's my only point, man. And then to add to that, when you look at the spread of Lebrett's, when you look at the spread of ablation, then to add to that, when you look at the spread of the Onanian points, it's too much movement west to east.
You talking about different cultures though, bro. You act like it's just one big culture.
What do you mean? Let's hold on. When you say that,
acquiescing to a faulty premise, yo.
Hold on. When you say that, hold on. Let's talk about the Onanian. You said that it's a culture that's spread
Nanny,
everywhere, right?
no, Nanny are not even there's not even aquatic code. They their own culture.
But hold on,
Okay,
let me
let's
jump
put
in for a
clarity to
second
that.
because y'all got the brother kind of
put
flustered.
clarity to that.
Hold on, brother. Nasir, let me jump in for a minute.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. So when the Sahara was green, right? It was the population up there, right?
And the gorillas was there. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying when the Sahara was green, that's where the people was populated, right? When it starts to desertificate, the humans leave there. Where do they go? Do they just go west? Then they don't. Also,
they go in different directions.
From a chronological perspective. Hold on, from a chronological perspective, when they leave the Green Sahara, they disperse south in all directions, and they do go east. So the genetics got to go east too. So why are y'all arguing about that? I mean, I'm just saying if we just use,
we're not even arguing about that, bro. What are you talking about? We never.
Well, it seems like because that's what the brother's saying. He's saying that we.
That ain't what he's saying. He's saying
okay, I
that
thought that's what he was saying.
Yeah, he said that Blanche.
Like I said, excuse me, I can't argue his argument. I was just trying to simplify what he was saying.
And now he's changing. He know what he said. Then he dove to a
no. Blanche is one I use. Blanche is one I use. Yes.
Okay, so just say you can't find it right now, and then we can move to whatever you want to do. We can deal with the James thing. We can do all that.
You said I can't. I just read it. What you talking about?
Right. Well,
you said now. Wait a minute. You saying can I find something newer than what Gullah has?
No. You read something that said what?
Bro, it said it spread west to east. And what I read, it said the whole aquatic was in doubt. And all I'm saying is this.
And then that's when Gullah said he got a newer source, right?
Yeah, Gullah said his source was from 2017.
Okay.
And all I asked was no problem.
So hold on. The reason he said that, he wasn't saying that because your source, because he wasn't saying that your source was outdated, right? Based off of because it was in 1998. 98. That's not why he was saying that. He was saying it because he has new updated information that would render it outdated. That's why he was saying
that, because nothing's new about the aquatic, bro. It's from the 50s.
Bro, I'm just saying it.
Show me one new thing that has updated.
No, I'm just saying. You said Blanche threw it out, but this is 2017, and Blanche is using it in this article, bro. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Right here it say archaeological interpretation. One of the earliest proposals for an archaeological correlate for Nilo-Saharan is the Aqualithic, 1974 to 1977. Sudden notice and approximate correlation between the language distribution and cultural complex associated with the human environments of bone harpoons assumed to be used for hunting hippos and crocodiles. Photo 2, ceramics, possibly with wavy line decoration. Archaeologists have raised objections to the coherence of this proposed ceramic, but recent research has indeed showed that the ceramic appeared to be Central Sahara on the Nile and in West Africa, Mali, in a very short window around 10,500 to 10,000 BP. To complete the picture, ceramics have also been uncovered from the same period around Lake Turkana.
It's not
2010. Relate this to the Green Sahara and expansion of aquatic resources in the desert some 11,000 years ago, which was responsible for the image of species of hippos in the arid region. The supplementary table show that linguistic data also support this with the reconstruction from hippo and crocodile. That's in the Nilo-Saharan language they talking about. Broadly speaking, therefore, sudden present preceding hypothesis can be reconciliated with this new data. Shows the distribution of ball harpoons, which should be compared with the distribution of Nilo-Saharan languages, corresponding neatly to the hypothesis that Nilo-Saharians first developed in the southeast, where its diversity is still maintained. Data points for early ceramics are much less abundant, but the distribution is also similar. As the Green Sahara developed, speakers traveled westward, attracted by the abundant aquatic resources, including hippos, crocodiles, and Nile perch, late Niloticus. And here you can see the, the map where it showed the different dots of the waveline pottery and the harpoons. Well, these the bone harpoons.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The different
white.
And so this is, and you say this source is from 2017?
Yes, it is. And right here say, look right here say in Jabiro, look, they're talking about the Kefians. Look, in Jabiro, site in the North Niger, 10,000 years ago, is the largest cemetery uncovered in sub-Saharan Africa and displays remarkable range of physical types. Because some of them was mixed with Iberian Maroosians, but they mostly were now. This is a Nilo-Saharan population. The association artifacts and orientation indicate the culture with the time manufactured luxury goods and presumably reflect complex social patterns. The extract substance strategies of the peoples who buried their dead at Jabiro remain under discussion, but the current view is that the phenotypic affinities of the first occupation, named Kefians after a proposal by Abil Perel, were with North Africa and seems to have been hunters and fishers. After 82,000 BP, millennium of high aridity lead to the lakeside settlement being abandoned and the reoccupied by more gracile physical types. With the greater focus of aquatic resources, a few cattle bones among later assemblages possibly assembled, they were gravely trading meat with pastoralists further north in the air, not that they were actually producing cattle. And it say one of the most widely dispersed families of Nilo-Saharan is Central Sudanic. We're talking about, some of the Central Sudanic language.
Yeah,
go
back up. Go back up to that point about the harpoons, because that's where he kind of almost willing to maybe change his mind. Go back up to the part when it was reconciled, when it said reconciled with the bone harpoons and the hippos, because it's almost like he's saying, I was against this, but now I'm willing maybe to consider it based upon the new information. I think go up one more.
Or where it say, broadly speaking, therefore, a sudden preceding hypothesis can be reconciled with this new data.
No, go back up a little further though. When they talked about the bone harpoons, right there on that part you read.
The supplementary table show that the linguistic data also support this, that the reconstructed forms of hippo and crocodile.
Drake relate this to the green. Okay.
And this whole section is within the Nilo-Saharan section. Like in this list, he listed this off of linguistic, archaeological groups.
Species of hippos in the region. Their supplementary tables show that linguistic data also support with reconstruction. Go up a little bit more. Trying to get to that part where he said, right here. Let me see. Because it was a part he said with the sudden notice and approximate correlation between the language distribution and cultural complex associated with human bone harpoons presumed to be for hunting, possibly with wavy line, have raised. Okay. Archaeologists have raised objections to the coherence of this proposed ceramic, but research.
Yeah, that's pretty much a done deal. Like, I mean, what's the problem?
It's really no problem. I mean, in terms of Blench, but I still disagree overall with the aqualytic, and it has nothing to do with the source. I disagree.
I wouldn't do. I mean, if they have primary evidence, how can you disagree?
Well, it's still, you already know it's two sides to any argument.
So now, from what it seems, see, this is how we could settle this if we want to be honest. It seems like they was going from Mali all the way to the Nile. with the
No,
same
I
type
mean,
of stuff. I mean, what's the problem with that?
I agree with you on that, but
Yeah,
this is what the
came from the
aquatic
Nile
is saying.
originally.
First, they were saying that it came from the West. I agree with you, because I've came across that information too. But what Gullah just pulled up, it showed that they also found this off in the Nile and off in Central Africa as well. So why would that be a problem?
Yeah, the Nile Saharians, they come from the southern middle Nile. That's they they heartland.
You don't have a problem.
Wait, you saying they come from there? I thought that they just saying that it seemed like they all had that same.
What the aquatic is saying is like everything, all of the technology mostly that's in West Africa and the Green Sahara came from the Nile Valley. That's ultimately what it's saying. So all of the contributions from all those groups in the Central Sahara and West Africa get taken away by default.
It don't really, bro. When you look at the markers, bro, like that E marker came from the East, bro. Like Niger Congo speakers came from East Africa, bro. Like, what's the problem with that? And they mixed with Middle Stone Age cultures when they got there, when it turned green. I showed you the map where the Niger Gaddafi people was located at.
So likewise,
basically, hold up, like, are you basically saying that East Africa migrated to West Africa? Like, what's the problem?
Niger Congo was a sub branch of Niger Gaddafi. When they migrated to the Central Sahara at a point in time around 12,000 years ago, and they became that culture there, and they created that pottery during that time period. You know what I'm saying? It's not they just pop up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They came from the East. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that, girl. Look, based on what you just read.
Haplogroup
listen. What I'm saying.
When they come from the
I'm not trying to argue with you,
from the East. Just showed the haplogroup marker where it started at, bro.
Okay, we know about the E1B1A starting in the East. We know about that part of it.
And it's associated with Niger, and it's also associated with Niger. It showed it too. It's associated with Niger Congo speakers. West Africa.
Look how hard you arguing for a model that came out in 1949 is very problematic. But yet, if I ask you,
man, where you get that from though?
If I ask y'all, how do the Onanian points move from its earliest date in Mali to the Nile Valley? You can't tell me that though. But you'll sit here and argue a model that's very problematic and I would say racist. Very racist.
Bro, the Onanian points didn't start in Mali. This is the oldest place where they found it at, bro. Just because they named it in the port, they hear it. I mean, this is the oldest place they found it.
Yeah, come on,
bro. Okay, you said wait a minute.
Bro, the Onanians come from Niger Gaddafi. People come from the East in the first place, bro.
Bro, everybody comes from the East Africa. What is you talking about?
Them hunters didn't start just in Mali. They migrated to Mali starting around 12,000 years ago.
It's always an escape hatch.
Go ahead, Go.
Can I say something? I think the build is beautiful. I just wanted to say something. I want to follow the timeline of the language divergence, right? When we go back to this marker paternally, it's postulated that EV38 is 42,000 years old. There is no Niger Congo. There is no Onanian language. There's none of that yet at 42,000 years. EM2 arose possibly between 19,000 and 30,000 years ago. Again, there is no Onanian. There is no Niger Congo. There is none of that yet at that time period. Proto-Niger Congo, if earliest, is probably 10,000 years old. Onanian languages a bit before that, where they diverge from. So Nilo-Saharan, and we know that Proto-Nilo-Saharan and Proto-Niger Congo is postulated to diverge 20-some thousand years ago with population groups in the Sahara. I'm just trying to follow the language families that's being used, and I'm trying to follow the phylogenetic tree of the divergence of the people group who would have spoken language or would have had these languages. So we follow. I don't want the audience just to base it off haplogroups, because I heard Nazi and I heard the E marker, but that marker predates the language families. So now we get to the point of the aquatic population speaking possibly Nilo-Saharan, then Onanian points. Where did they come from, and what did their earlier ancestors diverge from? Because to me, listening to both of y'all, I think both of y'all got excellent points. I think it's some backwards, because Roger Blinch is postulating. There's other people that oppose Roger Blinch, and then you got Gullah, and you got Nazi. He's saying he don't agree with that because the person that created the model is from 1949, and they're still holding on to that. But Gullah's saying what Roger Blinch say. But then you have somebody else that oppose that. I think both of y'all making a point. It sounds like they were just people group diversion going backwards and forward. You know, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, because
That's what
even
I was saying.
because even the arrow points, they the reconstruction, they basing the reconstruction of the Niger-Congo language based off them arrow tips and the Renanian tips. That's why I say they probably even go back way back into the Cadofian period, you know, so the ancestors of Niger-Congo people when they was, you know, hunter gatherers in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Just speaking of an archaeological perspective. You know what I'm saying?
They got
Yeah.
a date on it. Gullah.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do, man, because you be jumping all over the place. You would say the Nilo-Saharan, right? Related to that, you would say the Onanian points is everywhere. You would say they didn't originate in Mali. I just be trying to see, bro, what you be saying?
Bro.
Huh?
I just showed you the map, bro. Why every
So I
time I
said
show
the
that map?
Onanian point. The Onanian point.
Did you see the map?
Of the Onanian points?
No, I showed a map of the Niger-Cadofian people,
I'm
bro.
not. I'm talking about Onanian points because
That's what I'm saying. It's associated. It's associated. I'm gonna show you another Roger Blanche source where he talk about the Onanian points being associated with Niger-Congo speakers. If it's associated with Niger-Congo speakers,
I'm not even talking about the language, bro. I'm just saying the movement of it, the cultures
exactly,
that are
bro. And I'm talking about the movement of their culture, bro.
Okay,
you know
so
what I'm
if you
saying?
say
Niger-Congo people just didn't pop up in the West out of nowhere, bro. They came from the East first.
Onanian points be everywhere at once. They
That's not what I'm saying, bro. That's not what I'm saying, bro. 20,000, even 16. I'm just taking back 16,000 years ago. Whoever them people that created the Mananian points, they came from the East. 12,000 years ago, Niger-Congo people was in the Central Sahara, bro. That's when the shit started turning green. And then they migrated to Mali and started that pottery around 9,500 BCE.
People in Mali during the time of the Onanian points, bro, Asiler, man, on up.
Those exactly. That's later on. They mixed. That's mixing with the Middle Stone Age culture that's already there in that region. They interacted with the West African hunter gatherers. Look at that show I did yesterday, bro. Look at that show I did yesterday, bro. We're gonna break all that down.
At 10,000 BCE, Mectoids is there. Somebody else there, in your opinion?
It ain't just Metroids, bro. Metroids met up in the doing the green. Those are being Marus. I even mentioned that.
Wait a minute. In Mali, who's in Mali at the time? Mectoids and who else?
In what time period?
10,000 BCE, when the Onanian points come about. Between 10,000 and 9,000 BCE.
Green phase, you got Metroids, you got Niger-Congo speakers, you got Nilo-Saharan people there.
Okay, where are the night?
And then you also got West African hunter gatherers who traveled up through that Atlantic coast up from Shumlaka.
Between 10,000 and 9,000, where are these ghosts Nilo-Saharans at? Where they at?
You said who?
Between 10,000 BCE and 9,000 BCE, where are these Nilo-Saharans at? Where they at?
They around these lakes, bro.
They just magically around. You can't attach.
They came from the east too.
I said, who are they? Are they Kefians?
Yes.
So Nilo-Saharans are Kefians and the Onanians?
No, bro. These are multicultural that lived amongst each other, bro. Kefians and Onanians lived amongst each other. You had a multicultural thing going on, bro. This wasn't no Smurf world.
You said Nilo-Saharans moved the Onanian points, right?
I said Niger-Congo people, bro.
Niger-Congo people. Okay, got you. All right.
You can even see it when you look at the round-headed art in the Sahara, in the Kale Isuf art. So that's also associated with the Onanian and Niger-Cadofian.
Hey, brother Gullah.
So Niger, wait a minute. So Niger-Congo people go eastward, right, to the Nile, right?
Brother Gullah,
the Malians who created the Onanian points, do they move eastward?
A particular group, the Cadofian group did.
Hey, brother Gullah,
they move into the Nile and they move into Sudan, right? Or at least the Nile, right? Right? No, I said those Onanian people that's in Mali, West Africa, moved to the Nile Valley, right?
Not that particular group. They didn't move all the way from there.
What happened then?
It's some groups that was still eastward, bro. The groups that was in Mali, dog. So they come from Niger-Cadofian people in the first damn place.
Oh shit, where you at?
It's also important to know I'm glad Gullah and Nazi talking about this too. Those early Ananian speakers, those men, looking at Niger Congo speakers, they're also a mixed population because they did mix with Basal West and Central African hunter gatherers. And I think Fetty just said it. It's
Yeah, they
proof that
did. They did.
they had Basal West Central African hunter gatherer maternal DNA. So even West and Central Africans are mixed
Yeah, that's what I
between.
said. That's what I said. Remember, I said
Yes,
he asked me
yes, you
who I
did.
met up. I said the people came up from Shumlaka, the West African. I talk about this,
Yes,
bro.
yes,
I did a whole presentation last night.
yes. The Niger Congo people overall is just old Sahara dudes who bred with population groups that was West and Central African hunter gatherers. So you'll see the mighty conjure DNA that's shared with Shamwaka, and you'll find that EM2 that drifted down.
Yeah, now,
That's it.
bro, Niger Kaddofian people ain't nothing more than muscular Nilos, bro.
And they was
Real,
better,
bro.
and they was better at sprinting.
Yeah, because we always had long limbs, adapted for savannah regions in the first place. We just a little bit more muscular, you know
And
what I'm saying?
we had
Stocky.
fast twitch muscles, and that also
Yeah.
falls in line with help us, fight off malaria with sickle cell. But we'll get into that later.
All right, so man, once again, let's get back on course. But if I wanted to show some rock art from Nubia, right, I would have showed this. Would have. Back on the would have. Hey, real quick. Hey, James, where you at?
Yeah.
I heard y'all had a long conversation about that would have. Y'all was being funny, right?
No, y'all had a long conversation about it. We did.
Nah.
Everybody know what would have mean.
What would have mean? I'm listening.
What have mean? What would have mean? It means it would have.
It meant they did it.
Excuse me?
It meant they actually did that.
You have to put it off in context of what would have mean. I mean, would have means would have. It means they would have. Where's the context of where it's off in the sentence?
Professor Sertagon,
right,
intervening in the course of the lively exchange of views on linguistic matters between Professor Abdullah and Diop, stated that the Egyptian KM, the feminine KMT meant black, the masculine plural was KMU, committed to, and the feminine plural KMNT. It said the form of KMTYW could mean only two things: those of Kemet, the inhabitants of Kemet, the black country. They say it was a derived adjective, nisba, okay, formed from the geographical term which had become a proper noun. It was not necessarily felt with its original meaning. To designate black people, the Egyptians would have said Kemet or Kemetu, not Kemet, Kimware. In any case, they never used the adjective to indicate the black people of the African hitherlands whom they knew about from the time of the New Kingdom and onward, nor in general did they use names of color to distinguish different peoples. So right here, the word would have, right, doesn't mean that they used it or did that. It doesn't mean that at all.
Yeah, hold on.
Doesn't mean that.
And now see, this is what's crazy about what you're doing.
This doesn't mean that.
No, hold on. No, because what I'm saying is this is like, and I hate to pull a Gullah on y'all, but this is in that time period. But if you got people that can read this language and that can find this and them saying this about people in the hinterland, then that means that they did do that, right?
No, that's something Reggie made up. But
No. That's what it means. It means if you can find somebody, hold up, if you can find a text, because he said that they never did it. But if you in 2024, if you got somebody that can read this language, that can go through the text and find this, and them saying that about people in the hinterland, that means the Sonoran was wrong. So now guess what? So we know some people. Hold on. We know some people. Hold on. We know some people that can. Would you agree? Hold on. You pulled this up.
No, that's how the conversations break down, though. Okay. Because that's not what we're talking about right now. Okay. You just switched it. That's not what we're talking about. We're not. That's not what we're talking about. That's something you would say after we figure out what would have meant. See, that's how we gotta have these types of conversations.
So he's saying if they would have find it in this particular spelling, that would have meant that they were talking about people from the hinterland. But then he said that he never found it.
People to designate black Egyptians would have. So that and this would have meant that they didn't necessarily do it, bro.
So you saying that we can't find?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what this sentence is saying right here.
Hold on, no. Okay, that's crazy.
Y'all want to find. I know how
y'all.
Well,
hold up. If you put it right on this, hold up. If somebody put that right on the screen with them saying it, then how can you disagree?
No, I'm not disagreeing with anything. I'm talking about what would have meant.
Okay, he's talking about what they would have said. He's telling they would have said. Hold up, listen.
They
did. He said they would. He says to designate black people, the Egyptians would have said Kemet or Kemu, not Kemetiu. Now, Kemetiu just a plural, meaning more than one. That's all that means. Now, I'm telling you, and if you can find him, if you can find this particular Kemetiu in association with the people in the hinterland, meaning south of Egypt, then that means that they. Now, guess what? We got people that can read this text that found it. Well, so now what? No, that's all we saying. Like now, what that has been found? Can we change that now that we found it?
I don't know.
Okay. So, but only thing you ain't got to trust nobody. Because you can learn how to read it yourself.
Listen, no, y'all find everything. My point is, you find everything. And I appreciate y'all having expertise over everybody. I really
it ain't me. Hold on. Hold on. You know who I'm like you. Hold on. I'm on your level. Check it out. Don't put me.
I appreciate people that have not been to school. I appreciate the people who have not been tested and tried. I appreciate people that have no formal degrees and all that being better than all the experts. I appreciate that. Like, that's really slick.
So reading is reading.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Dude, that's very slick. And that's why we practice science and scientific literacy, because everybody think they that dude. And there's only one way to find out if you're that dude or not. You got to go through this trainer. And once you go through this trainer, then we can figure out what's really going on. At this point, you can just say anything. And that's why the community is falling apart, because people have been saying anything for years, bro.
I got what you're guarding against. That's why we're talking about putting stuff that you can read on the screen.
I'm not going. No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. That's the same thing Malachi York said. The nigga made a
cut it out. No, see, you're trying to put man, you out of control. So you saying that the breeding that Reggie and everybody doing, they just fake.
No, Reggie. No, that's Reggie work.
I'm talking about being able to read this text.
No, that's Reggie work, though.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm talking about being able to read the text so they can read the same text. We can go to a European and they're gonna break this down the same way Reggie and them do it. You know that,
That's not how it works.
What are you saying?
That's not how it works. What we learned was listening to experts. Certain experts have classes on teaching Meta Nature, and they break out a papyrus and they allow the student to translate it. And a lot of times they come up with different translations. So we already understand that people can come out with different translations. That's not new to us. Matter of fact, if you read Dr. Ben's book, Black Man and the Nile, right? Or Need for a Black Bible. In the text, A Need for a Black Bible, Dr. Ben talks about how Jewish scholars, when they translate in the text, right, they'll come to a line, right, and they'll have a discussion over it. And the way they figure out if that line should be translated this way or that way is they have to put it in this cultural context. See, Dr. Ben told y'all that, but since most people don't read Dr. Ben's work and laugh and joke at it, right, they wouldn't have known that. I know that. So what I'm saying is, although you think it may say that, you can translate it the way you want to translate it, but at the end of the day, does it fit in its proper cultural context? Because that is the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing to do when translating ancient texts, whether it be Hebrew text, Greek text, a Sumerian text, Egyptian text, is allowing the ancestors to speak for themselves. Does it fit into their proper cultural context? That's the issue here. So when you come up with a translation that nobody agrees with it, but you, then you have a problem. That's all we're saying, bro. So in this statement, would have, right? The would have. We know we know what would have is. It's a model verb phrase for everybody listening to tonight's show. Used to express a variety of meanings, including possibilities or likelihood, hypothetical, imagined situation, conditional actions or events. What could have happened under certain conditions. Speculations about the past. So, in context, you provided, watch this, would have is used to express a hypothetical, speculative situation about what the Egyptians might have done rather than stated it as a fact. So what you're saying, now let's get to your point. What you're saying is, but hold on, that being said, we found it. See, now we can.
I didn't say we. I said we know people. I'm talking about me and you. Know people.
Let me.
Okay.
Let's
do.
This is important for coherency. This is how we do. We have a very coherent show, right? So what you're trying to tell me, so everybody know that I understand what you're saying. Hold on. They found it. Who is the they? We know who the they is, right? Those outside of academia found it. It's a possibility they actually did. But now, for us to listen to only to make sure that that's just not a random wild translation or found something wild, then what we would have to do is we would have to allow experts to examine that and say, man, you know what? That's fucking interesting right there. Let me see, and get that thing qualified. But prior to getting qualified, bro, it's like with everything, bro. It just is what it is. You just talking us to death. That's the only point I'm making, bro. So I hear exactly what you're saying. You hear exactly what I'm saying. But the argument over that phrase was wild because people were saying that phrase meant before your statement, they were saying that phrase meant that they actually did it. We was like, how you thinking that? That's not the phrase.
I couldn't go back in 1970 and say that they did it, but now we found some evidence, maybe not that much evidence, but they did use that term to refer to people in the South that's further than Southern Egypt.
Wow.
So I mean, now the only thing you're saying is because humans gained or African humans learned the ability to read the text like Europeans, now it's a problem. No, that's what it seems like to me.
No, it's a problem when
they because they didn't go to school. But yeah, I don't know. And the internet
that's a problem.
But you know, you got a lot of opinions too. You ain't went to no school.
Yeah, but I don't have my.
So you got an opinion about what they did, but you ain't went to school.
No, I don't.
You do.
I don't.
You disagree with them being able to read the language. You saying because they didn't go to school.
Never said that.
Their reading of the language is invalid.
Never said that.
So you're not saying that their reading of the language is invalid because they don't have a degree.
What I said was, I'm not playing the my work shit. That's what I said.
I know, and I got.
I don't need a degree to know that.
Check this out. Based on your career and what the people you've been around, I can understand your need for caution. Right? You've been around a whole bunch of pseudos, so I got you. But the people that I'm dealing with, they put it in your face. No, so I can't do nothing but look. I can't do nothing but look at it and just be honest about what I see. Now I'm not being biased. I'm being honest on what I see, bro.
James, I think the argument. Look, you can have a degree. I mean, you don't have to have a degree to research or be a scientific enthusiast. The point is that people who hasn't worked in the field are creating their own narrative when the actual data that's available that we have from PhDs or from doctors or scientists is saying something totally different. So when you have people, hold on, listen. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm not a geneticist, but I know how to read the available data that's out there. If a person know how to keep up with the available data and they're maintaining what scholastics or scholarship or real academia is saying, they're not going outside of the line. But when you have people that create their own narrative and add on to what the actual data says, that's when it becomes a problem. Because if the data don't say something, but you actually got the sources, and then you add on what you want into those sources and pick and match, pick and choose what you want, that's when it becomes a problem. That's all we saying. So for me, you don't have to have, if you are a scientific enthusiast and you into this stuff, it's nothing wrong with doing self-studies and educating yourself in here. But when you add on and go against the available data, when you go against the real archaeologists, when you go against the real PhDs, when you go against the real geneticists, and you make up your own narrative, that's when it becomes a problem. At least learn to read what the data is saying, the available data is saying. Learn to read it. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get what you're saying, but like I'm saying, man, I know y'all can see, y'all can read, and y'all can hear.
Nope.
And when you can. Nope. And when somebody is putting something in your face, thing like they hiding it, like a preacher or nothing, they put it right in your face and say, look at this. Now, if you can't read it, then it's on you to go ahead and go learn how to read it for yourself. You can find it, validate. Just like anything when we doing genetics or anything that we want to learn, if we really want to find out for ourselves instead of listening to somebody else, we go do it ourselves.
But
So I don't know. We've been around this community. Hold on, Ngozi. We've been in this community for about 16, 20 years now. Y'all ain't went over there. If y'all think that there's somebody lying about what it's saying, why y'all ain't went over there? Because it ain't that hard. From what I'm learning, it ain't even that hard for you to go over there and go look at that stuff. Go look at it and then discern for yourself.
But James, for some people it is hard, and people come in with their personal biases.
Man, it ain't hard for y'all. Y'all ain't done.
Hold on. No. I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about for some people it is hard, and that's when they add on. For example, one of the hardest things for people to accept is that the modern Egyptians are closest to the ancient Egyptians, regardless to their skin tone. That's hard for people to accept.
And see, that's what we go and see. That's where me and you disagree at.
Hold on. Listen, let me finish. Another thing that's hard to accept. We went through this thing earlier with E1B1A and how old it is. And if Ramesses III, if he did have E1B1A or EM2, we don't know because it might change because, again, the calculator that was used, it was only a small amount of STRs at the time. I'm sorry, certain markers at the time, but it came up to DYS390 equals 21, so it came up as E1B1A, whatever. If it's that, if it can still be EB22, you put it in NAV gene, it says EB22. We don't know, but I'm going to say if it is E1B1A, that doesn't mean that Ramesses and a Nigerian who has EM2 are recently related. When that marker is 42,000 years old, they have downstream splitting, they have unique subclades, and it's been lingering around from the Sahara from east to west for a very long time. And in some cases, some streams of it never even went south of the Sahara like ours did because we have later subclades or later downstreams. So that shit can be related far back. Even 23andMe, if you read it, and 23andMe is great at promoting. I think it's a good promoting scheme or whatever. It's part of making money. It gives people hope, whatever. But I'm just saying, even that shit said you and Ramesses III. If anybody on here is E1B1A, it says on that thing. I don't want to curse on Brother Unk's show. It says you and Ramesses. It says you and Ramesses. Me, I'm EP252. E1B1A 7A or whatever, but it says that we share a common ancestor with Ramesses III that could have came from the Middle East. People disregard that, or Africa. So what I'm saying is it's very old. That doesn't mean that you recently, or they have a recent ancestral lineage where a Nigerian went into Egypt and the Egyptian is a Nigerian. No, that marker is 42,000 years old. EM2 is 30 to 19,000 years old. It becomes its own unique clade that then has later downstreams that goes into
so check this out, go. So okay, we in agreement right here. That's great. So you saying that this marker is so old that it can only be African? Would you say that?
Of course, yes, he is African.
Okay. So we didn't went that. So
no. Hold on, listen. And because EM96 micro haplogroup E is postulated to be 70,000 years old, and if it's not African, I believe it possibly developed in Arabia. But at this time, they would have looked like the population. No, listen. Hold on.
Okay, so hold on. Let's do this then. So is it a human haplogroup? Hold on, I'm just going to ask you: is it a human haplogroup?
James, let me say what I'm saying before you're done. 70,000 years ago, the population group that lived in Arabia is not the same population. They would have been diversions from ancestral North Africans that they split from. So even if it did, I'm not saying it is. I believe it developed. I actually believe that EM96 developed in Northeast Africa. And the other population group that left out, I believe that, but I'm saying it's a possibility. I'm just saying I don't believe the possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. It could have developed in west of Arabia. The reason why the postulation is there is because EM96 it shoots off of DE, and DE is the brother of CF, and CF is the population that became all non-African. And both their parent is CTM168, which scientists consider is Eurasian Adam or some Eurasian Adam.
That D that they found in Nigeria kind of make them question, you know what I'm saying? They kind of make them lean more towards the African origin.
We already went over this, the DO that they found in Africa. We already went over this in Ngozi.
Hold on. No, I want to say something though. Ngullah is right. You right and Ngullah right. But I'm also throwing out the possibility because they also found the earlier streams of basal branches with a Syrian man and one of an African American man who went further up. So it's still, they don't, with that Syrian man who lived in Russia, who had a more basal branch, And the African American man who had the same basal branch, it was a little bit more older than the branches that they found in Nigeria. But because it was found in the African American, that also shoots back to Africa. So I do lean to the African thing. But again, even if it did develop in Arabia 70,000 years ago, this is part of the population group who left out of Africa. Now, they have recent studies from last year that say the population group that left out of Africa, they left through the Sinai. And it said the Sinai, that's 80,000 years ago. EM96 is 72 to 70,000 years ago. It's either two things that happen. It's either two things that happen. These dudes that left out 80,000 to 90,000 years ago gave birth to DE on his way out, and DE stayed in the Nile and then penetrated the rest of Africa, while CF left out and became all of the Eurasians, from CF to FM89 to GHIJK, IJK, and IJK to JK, and then start splitting the virgin and going through unique bottlenecks, while DE stayed lingering around, and then some of the D left out later because the black people of the Andaman Islands still got it, and some people in Japan got the D marker. So it's just weird. But I'm saying, even if it did develop in the continent, it's a very old marker. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not in disagreement with y'all, with you. I'm just saying it's old. But here's the thing: you can have a Puerto Rican man who's 80% Mediterranean, Spaniard, Portuguese, and one of his ancestors was a black African slave from Cameroon, and you have Puerto Ricans running around with E1B1A. So just because you got E1B1A don't mean that you're gonna look like, you know, a black man from Nigeria. It doesn't. If it goes into different directions. That's all I'm saying.
So I want to
that's how you have Arabs with E1B1A.
I mean, Hitler.
So you can't tell race based on haplogroup.
Hey, Hitler got an E marker. Yo, he got E3B.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. We already know. That's why I don't even understand why we going through it.
So
we know we can't tell based on race, haplogroups based on race. You can't do that. We already know this.
So let me make my point. This is an important point. Back to my point of not just listening to anybody. When I embarked on some research and with Dr. Mayat, and we was publishing a paper, right? She was using some of the research, right? The paper wasn't going through, okay? 6 months passed, like, man, it's like, why ain't paper going through? So we went back over some of the documents, and I was like, I was watching her on Garfield's thing. I was like, damn, she used that source. I was like, that's probably in the paper. That's in the paper. So we had a discussion over. She was like, yeah, I used that. I said, Doc, it's not a replicable source there. And we had a good 2-day conversation over that. Let me show you what the issue was. And this is why I say, like, I'm very skeptical, right? That's why it's important to understand, you know, the experts, what they doing, right? We are all familiar with this right here. Are we not? Black Genesis, are we not familiar with this? Yes, we are. We're familiar with the two people, Robert Bravell, Thomas Brophy, PhD. I've been trying to let people know that although this man is a PhD, he's not a PhD in what he's talking about in this book, right? Not at all. Robert Bravell neither. First of all, when you look at Robert Bravell, this is the source that we was going to use. I wasn't going to use it. Doc was going to use it. She was actually talking about this right here. Let me see if I can get to it. Let me get to, damn it. Mark Bernal, my fault, Bovell, right? And his whole thing about I know I was supposed to get that. Hold on 1 second. He comes up with a whole daggone theory, y'all. Not a damn scientific theory. And it's this right here. Wait 1 sec. 1 sec. See if I can go back 1 sec. I'm going to go back. Black Genesis. Oh, man. Get to the witch.
She get to smash Rockwell source.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the shit they use over there, bro. I'm not using that. Come on, man. Not doing that, bro. Hold on.
Wait, hold up. I don't think I ever seen him use this source. And if he
All
Oh,
did,
the
yeah,
time,
he
man.
did,
Stop
bro.
it.
He showed
Stop
the
it.
well, if he
interview. He
did
showed
it, you gotta put it in
Stop
context
it.
of
I'm
what
not
he
even.
he
did.
showed the whole
Okay,
talking
well,
about
what
that guy.
context did he use the source in?
Listen, I'm not talking about that guy. I'm
Okay,
talking about
word.
how sources is wild. Why I in detail I look up sources to understand the person is writing the material, right? And so Mark Bevell, we all thought he was credible, but he actually not. What did he do? What he did was Robert Bevell, okay, is an Egyptian writer and lecturer, not Egyptologist, but a writer and lecturer, right? Perhaps best known for what? His fringe Orion constellation theory regarding the Giza pyramid complex. Well, what is this? When they claim that the pyramids align up with the Orion star constellation. We've all heard this before. It's called the Orion correlation theory. Y'all have all seen this before. See that? Orion's belt, okay, all right, superimposed on the Giza pyramid complex, illustrating the Orion correlation theory from left to right. There you have it. Y'all see it? Right. This is not legitimate right here. But we all thought it was for a period of time. And we all liked the Black Genesis book because it said what we wanted to say. But in reality, what exactly is the Orion quote unquote coalition theory, right? So if we just move, hold on, let me just move, hold on, let me move a little forward real fast, right? It'll actually Atlas Reborn documenting. When you start hitting the Atlas and all that, you already know you're in trouble, right? You already know. So we get right here. Here you go. The Orion coalition theory has been described as a form of pseudo-archaeology. Among the ideas critics have been to astronomers Ed Koop and Griffin of the Griffin Observatory, right, in Los Angeles, and Anthony Farewell, astronomy professor at the University of Cape Town, South Africa. All right. So these experts got on the case, right? And they tried to find alignments. Now, if you move down here, y'all know who Hancock is. He be on Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah, you sit in the same class with Billy Carson in this class.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? Match claims by Burrell and Hancock, 47.50 degrees compared to 38-degree angles formed by the pyramids. All right. So we're not never using these type of people right here when teaching our people. Anybody dealing with Atlas, Reborn Doc, we're not doing none of that. John Hancock. Yo, we not respecting John Hancock over here. What other people do. They use this stuff because it goes with their biasness. We're not doing it over here. Let's come to the next person that wrote with him. I said it was two people, right? Here's the next person. Thomas G. Brophy. He's on that book. It's two of them wrote the book. Now, who the hell is Brophy? Right, Brophy, PhD, is the president of the Institute of Neuroscience. What was my fault? Neolithic science. Am I saying that right? Let me get this right. What the hell is that? Neolithic science. Okay, what the hell is this? See, what are we forcing our people to digest, ladies and gentlemen? Here you go right here. The Institute of Neolithic Sciences. What the hell is that? Okay, the Institute of Neolithic Science is an American nonprofit parapsychological what the hell? Watch this. I'm going to say it right. Parapsychological Research Institute, right? Let's look it up. The hell is this? Okay. Parapsychological archaeology is the study of alleged psychic phenomenon, extrasensory perception, telepathy, precognition, clairvoyance, all the stuff that we laugh at people about. Why do we bring people like that into the study? And other paranormal claims, for example, those related to near-death experiences, right? Come on, man. Hold on. Let me move down. It says criticized as being, look, pseudoscience. The majority of mainstream scientists reject it. Come on, dude. So you mean to tell me, yo, we sitting around acting like we reading glyphs, but yet we can't critique the sources that we damn using, bro? That's not what I'm doing. And then people get mad at me. They get upset at me.
Man, hold on.
Call me all kind of names. They do all
kind of wild right here.
Try to make my career like I don't know what I'm doing. And when we pull it up,
man, I ain't never seen.
Man, I'm not even. That's your fault.
I'm just talking about. I ain't never seen nobody use Robert Bivol for no.
Yeah, bro.
Hold up for some glyphs,
bro. Smash used him as an expert, bro. You was on that chat. You was on there. You was on that channel. You remember that? He showed the interview.
I don't remember him.
He was talking about the Egyptians. He was talking about the Egyptians of black.
Glyphs. Like
when
the
he said
man can't even read. Can Robert Bivol read some hieroglyphs or something?
I don't know, but he said Egyptians is black Africans.
That's he said black Africans.
He probably do say that.
No, that's
and watch this. He will be absolutely correct. See, that's what y'all don't want to hear. So that's why I'm here to tell you that just because he did all he
James, you do get that though, right, James? You do understand it though, right?
Yeah, you saying that Robert Bivol
and the other guy.
And the other guy is pseudo.
Right. I'm not using and
but how that ain't got I don't know how that got attached to what we was talking about, but that ain't got nothing to do.
We got attached to it because you were saying that people is reading right in front of your face. I said, but wait a minute, yo, there's a measuring stick there. There's a certain filter, and Ngozi talked about it, that we must go through. I'm saying I haven't been through that filter, right? So I don't make these wild claims, and I don't never say that I'm the guy that made the claim. But we got people amongst us, bro. Y'all can figure out who y'all think it is. People amongst us that swear that they got their own work apart from academia, yo. And I'm saying I'm not doing that. I'm not using that. I'm saying for me to stand up and stick my chest out as far as I do, dog, can't be no holes like that. It's holes in that nonsense. That's all I'm saying. So the conversation has not changed, right? It's why we don't use people who aren't there.
But hold on.
The reason why we don't do that
is we don't use people that's not
fine. Y'all don't read Black Genesis, bro. That's the book. Stop it.
Nobody is reading Black Genesis for no hieroglyphic So
hold on. So you didn't think that the pyramids lined up with Orion's belt?
Well, I think you probably did too at one point. We all probably did.
Yeah, how about
no, so don't just try to charge.
No, how about
don't try to just act like you didn't fall for that.
Cut it out. Back in 2010, but right 2013, that would have been a credible source.
But right now, no, so right. we on the side. We shifted that. You shifted about that. We did too.
You agree to that?
Huh?
You agree to that?
With Robert Bivol?
Yeah, you don't agree.
No, but when you shifted off of that, everybody shifted. We was right there. So don't act like we didn't shift off of that right at the same time. When you jumped off that boat, we jumped off that boat right with you. But what we talking about right now.
Appreciate you. So why right now do we use this book right now?
Back in 2010, 2013, that would have been a valid book in the conscious community, bro.
It still is.
Using that book
right now. Still use that.
Hold on, man. See, this is what's going on right here. Y'all must think that something going on, like the stuff that some people do ain't got nothing to do with other people, bro. And you know that because people be doing all kind of debates and stuff. Like I don't even support that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So don't do that. I'm not over there debating people that just came out in 1940. I don't do that. As soon as you give me your date and tell me when you came out, I'm gonna discard you. If your chronology don't predate the writing system of the Egyptians, it's it. Because we only talking about history. You know that. So the only thing we can argue is what was written, who read it first, this, that, and the other. But then when we start to get into who was the people here, who was the people back in the day, only way you're going to be able to do that is through having a genetic argument. So that's what me and Ngozi always get into it, because it seems like y'all keep missing the genetic data that I be putting in y'all face. Because I can pull it up right again, and y'all gonna start stumbling and fumbling when I pull it up. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I be tripping on the disingenuous.
Why you say that though? Like
because y'all did it, y'all done it several times, And I can pull up I got it
You
clipped.
bring up,
Well, y'all gonna act like I
Neanderthal
can't read. It's gonna go to I can't read and I can't comprehend, and the source didn't say what it said. See,
So
that's the type of disingenuous
hey,
stuff
hey,
that's
so
not
James,
good.
so James,
That's
you know
crazy,
we do
bro.
have rules that can end the conversation, though, right? You do know that, right?
Mm-hmm. I can. So what you saying? You want me to pull up
I'm
pull
saying
up that source? Hold up, I can
anything
pull
you
up the
pull up,
source, and
any
you can
source
get
you pull up,
Chat GPT to
yeah,
ask the question.
yeah.
I know that's your buddy.
No,
So
no,
what you want me to do?
I'm asking you a question. So ChatGPT should agree with you, yo, and then you would have no problems out of it.
So what you want me to do? Do you want
I'm
me?
saying that you're like a Baptist preacher that cut and paste sources. Is what I'm saying.
No, hold up. No. The only thing you got to do. Only thing you got to do is put this title in, right, and then ask it. Is it saying what is this? What is this saying about the sentence? Why is that saying? You know how to prompt it. Put the title of the whole journal article in there.
Give me the article. Give me that.
Let me go look, man. Because see, this is what I'm talking about. You love Chat GPT until it says some shit that you don't like.
Let me tell you why I like Chat GPT. Because I can put my name in there and it'll explain exactly what I'm doing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I can. I can put Black African power in there. It said that's a statement the brother Unks make, and it'll tell you what the fuck I mean. But y'all act like y'all don't know what it means. See what I'm saying? So I'm trusting.
No, we don't know what it means after you conflated and confused it. After saying, you say it.
So you don't know what that. So you don't. I thought you listened to John Henry Clark. Yo, I guess you didn't. I thought you listened to the man.
No, you said it don't mean black people no more.
No,
like you don't understand linguistic evolution. Hold on, let me ask you, do you understand linguistic evolution?
What that got to do with?
Because words fall out of favor in times. So we used to say Negro in the 70s. We don't say that no more. But we know that that's associated with us. See, you can do that.
Am I taking that away though? Am I saying that's not true? Have I ever said that?
Yeah, you've been saying that these ain't the Negro, that's some racist stuff, and you can't use it. But you we don't know that was always associating that with African people, which is us.
Man. Black
Come on, that's what you did, bro. Come on, if you want me to be honest, we're gonna be honest tonight.
No, black is not synonymous with Africa, yo.
Yes, it is. Just like the apis bull is synonymous with a black bull. We can see color. We not no type of animal that can't see color, huh? So we got to be honest about this conversation.
Then why they call Aboriginal Australian black fellas?
Because Aboriginal people, if you look at them, they black. Would you deny that?
They ain't African though. You said synonymous with African.
Let me ask you.
They not African.
I'm asking you.
You just said it's synonymous with being African. That ain't
synonymous with being Aboriginal. It's synonymous with being.
What about Melanesians and Papua?
Yeah, it's synonymous with those people too. It can be that. Just like it can be synonymous with being yellow people would be Asians. Just like being synonymous with white people.
You racist as hell.
It's not European.
I ain't never seen a yellow person in my life.
It's just a descriptive term.
I ain't never seen no yellow person.
If I say a polar bear, hold up, let me ask you, Gullah. I don't want to yell. If I say a polar bear is white, is that being racist? That's just being given a descriptive. It's giving a descriptive of what we see a polar bear look like.
No,
it's not being racist when you say that an African is a dark-skinned person.
Polar bears fur ain't even really white.
Do that, man.
It's really
Please
transparent. Get an optical illusion. Get an optical illusion if it's white.
Okay, but so is a grizzly bear the same color?
So now we racializing grizzly bears, yo.
I'm just saying this is what y'all doing it to humans. Y'all act like humans is some kind of special primate on the planet. We come in different shades.
Yeah.
Man, y'all gotta stop this. It's not racist to identify somebody's shade. If I see somebody that's light-skinned, if I see somebody that's black like me, that's light-skinned, that if I identify them as being light-skinned, I'm being racist.
Nah. You know what, James? You know what make me mad, yo? The shit that's really got me under my skin, yo, is that y'all know what the hell we talking about. Y'all already know
we feel the same way.
You will never fight me over saying that the Egyptians was dark skinned. But see, that's the fight you're having right now. You're saying that when they say black, they mean they dark skin. Am I correct in that, James?
That's what we
saying,
all do. We say that.
No,
Hold up,
are
we
you
do
sure?
this. We do this
I'm
all over the
you
planet.
I'm asking you a question. So you saying to you, black means dark skin, right?
Yes, it's synonymous with dark skin.
Okay, so but
in the lexicon of history, it's
hold
always
on
been that way.
So hold on for a minute. That's how I got you, my nigga. That's why y'all super silly. You know why? Because the experts already said the Egyptians can be dark skinned. So why would you fight me over something that they already agreed on? You know I stick with the experts. So it's not that y'all fighting over them being dark skinned, because in 1974 they agreed they was dark skinned.
Okay, but why did they have Elizabeth Taylor and Hugh Brenner and all these other actors, and they still doing it to this day, having these particular images shown in the on these motion picture program? If they agree, why haven't they? Why was they just arguing and mad because Jada Pinkett depicted them as Cleopatra as a half breed? If they agree, you see what I'm saying? So that's I mean, I don't know what's going on. Anybody else can get in if I'm tripping. It's still a fight going on.
No, yo, you fight me over something that the experts agree with. The Brooklyn Museum agree with you. The Cairo Symposium 1974 agree with you. People prior to 1974 agree with you that the Egyptians can be dark skinned, yo. That ain't even a damn debate. So why would you be mad at me when we all in agreements? Because what y'all saying is,
because you said they wasn't, it was a racialized term, huh?
No, bro. I'm saying
you did, man. We can rewind the tape. What is going on?
No, brother, black people is the racialized term. You would say dark skin, bro. Man, see, dark skin is a descriptive. No, dark skin is a descriptive. But black people is a racialized term. So now y'all act like y'all can't read books. See, now
but see, now this is what's going on here. When somebody, just because the Europeans switch the goalpost on something, don't mean no, because I only look at it as a descriptive. I've never looked at it as something racial. And if they racialize it, that's on them.
Are you saying black people is a racialized term, yo?
They saying that.
No, John Henry Clark.
We're saying it's a descriptive term.
No, John Henry Clark said that, and you can't make up your own language, bro.
It can't be nothing else but a racialized term because it came up. That's what.
No, John. Okay, wait. Slow down. Let's slow down here. You saying what John Henry Clark said was that we use that term, but it does not identify from which we come, our homeland. All people use their homeland as a descriptive term to identify themselves. That is what the elder meant. Don't try to twist it up and act like I don't know what he was talking about, because I'm very well versed in what he said. That's all he was saying. He said we use black, but that does not identify where we come from. He said, and it would be best for us to use African, and I agree with that, but I understand that it's still.
No,
I understand that when I say a black person, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about Gullah, I'm talking about Nasser. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but nobody argues that, yo, that we not. Nobody on this panel would not agree with you that we black people, yo. Y'all know that.
We can see it every day in the news.
I know, but nobody.
Black History Month. Why they call it Black History Month? Who they talking about,
They talking about African Americans, yo.
Holy smoke.
Obviously. Obviously, they talking about African Americans.
You gotta stop it.
They talking about people that came under the yoke of colonialism, yo.
Man, but people in Africa identify themselves as black too.
No, they don't. Not before colonialism, yo.
We talking about right now.
No, so what right now? That's because the situation we talking about is prior to all of us, bro. That's all I'm saying. And to apply our racial.
But no, you saying that's like it's exclusive to Africa.
I'm in the middle of talking, though. Let me say. I'm saying, so it doesn't make sense for us African Americans to place ideology on a group of people, yo, who wouldn't have known that, dog. And I'm saying it's improper to do that. That's all.
Okay, so pull up Pan African and see what they say. Watch what they're gonna start talking about all kind of black stuff. They're gonna start talking about the history of Africa, how they got free. And they know that they black. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all.
They don't know they black.
Man, I can pull up all kind of Thomas and Corey and everybody with speeches talking about they blackness. So
No,
stop it,
that's not prior to colonialism.
No, you saying it's exclusive to African Americans. I'm showing you that it's not.
I know it's not. It's oceanic.
Nah, he ain't saying
But the glyph says it. The glyph says it.
Hold on. The father of Black history is a Puerto Rican, yo.
Yo, the glyphs say they call themselves black people. Yo, I don't keep understand why y'all can't understand that.
Yeah, you ain't even. You just
They don't acknowledge. They don't acknowledge. Hold
but
on.
you keep saying it's a racial term.
No, so we not coming and doing that, yo. We're not coming and just fucking talking. That's not what we doing over here. You wait your turn, and we just keep it smooth, yo. We ain't no problem with nobody, yo. We don't have no problem.
The father of Black history.
It was a racialized term, yes or no?
He a Puerto Rican, yo.
Rich, we're not having that type of dialogue. Rich, we're not having that.
No, but you just said it's a racialized term, and we're just trying to tell you that the people call themselves that.
Didn't even introduce you, bro. You coming wrong as hell, yo. On purpose.
How am I wrong? No. Yo, we already proved it for months.
Because it's not this time for show, though.
No, Egyptians they call themselves black.
What are you talking about, yo?
It's a type. I'm saying the show we doing right now, yo. It ain't for you. If you come in,
well, you just said
he said be calm. He said calm down.
You not calm down, yo. I'll cuss you the fuck out, dog. And I'm saying that's not what we doing. You don't want that type of energy from me. I don't want that from you. Take your time. And when you speak through a source. Don't just talk, Rich.
Dog, listen, we already showed the source many times. What are you talking about?
No, Rich, what you showed me was the conversation we just had for 35 minutes saying that's state work, bro. That's fine. But no expert agrees to that. That's all we're saying, Rich. And as a man, you're supposed to say, you know what, Unc, that is their work, and the experts don't agree with it. And I can say,
who experts don't agree, though? Who experts don't agree, Unc? What are you talking about?
No black expert from the Chicago university agrees with it. No white expert agrees with it. Nobody agrees with that, bro.
That's a lie. That's a lie, yo.
So all you would have to do, since you called me a lie, is get the source, and then we can speak to the source. So I'm right.
Yo, they show this shit every day. They show it every day.
No, Rich. I'm right, Rich. I'm right here, Rich.
Man, come on, man. All right. Hey, yo.
No. Hey, Rich. Nobody showed Rich. They show that for you, Rich. They show you for your level of comprehension.
My level? You don't even know my level. What are you talking about, nigga? Yo, you don't understand. They've been talking about this shit for 3 months now.
Listen, so your level is that I can say it means this, and you'll accept that.
Man, come on, man. I ain't no kid, bro. What are you talking about?
Acting like it then, Rich.
Yo, check it out, yo. Okay.
Rich, so
understand something simple.
Rich, hold on.
Is black a racialized term? It's not.
Rich, I'm gonna let you know what you just did here, Rich.
Man, you ain't gotta let me know that, man.
I showed you Mark Brevell, right? I showed you why we don't just accept anybody's work. I did all that, Rich, for you to jump on here and then say that they show us that all the time.
PhDs agree with Smash? Then you have PhDs on your show that agree with Smash?
No, they didn't.
Did you have PhDs?
Never did, Rich. That's y'all lie.
Oh, that's Rich. Another lie, yo. That's another lie, yo.
Rich, no expert that I said that shit y'all was saying was right. So that's why.
Yo, you said the black, the black. Remember that? When you had to agree with the lady? Okay, Rich, cool. All right, cool.
No, Rich. No, that's the game.
Go ahead, man.
Rich, you forgot, Rich. I actually talked to you. Rich, you actually forgot that I talked to these people on the phone. You actually. Man. So my question is, why the experts gets cussed out? Why did people amongst you cuss out the experts and threaten them then if they was agreeing with them, bro? Why would I cuss out an expert that agree with me? I would have never did that.
Who cussed out an expert?
Come on, dude. Are y'all delusional right now? Yo? See, you know what it is, man? I know what it is, bro. It's a bunch of nonsense, yo. I get it, yo. And you know what, yo? What I don't.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, the last question. And that's all I got. I just got one more question.
No, stop. I want to get back to what Gullah. I want to get back to you, Pan-African Games. Black is not synonymous with African. All right.
It's synonymous with black people all over the planet.
Huh?
It's synonymous with black people all over the planet. That's what it's synonymous with. If you look black, if you are Aboriginal, if you Adam Islands person,
nope. So
they're gonna say that you're associated with the Negro or the Afroid race. That's what they're gonna say.
You can read the article. The black people don't say what y'all saying, but anyway, look, is black synonymous with Africa? No. Black is not synonymous with Africa.
Watch what they're going to say.
Although the two terms can sometimes overlap depending on context. Here's a breakdown of the differences. Black is often used as a racialized or ethnic category that refers to people with dark skin, typically of African descent, but it is not limited to people from the African continent. It can include individuals from various regions, such as the Americas, African Americans,
Holy shit.
parts of the Middle East, and other places where people of African descent or darker skin tones live. It's more of a social, political, or racial designation than a geographical one. It's a African. The term refers to people who are from or connected to the continent of Africa. It says African is a geographical national identity and applies to all people from Africa, regardless of skin color. Africa is home to diverse populations, including people with lighter skin, North Africans, some East Africans, as well as people with darker skin. The differences. Black refers to racial or ethnic identity primarily associated with dark-skinned people, not limited to Africa. African refers to people from the continent of Africa, which includes diverse ethnicities and skin tones. Therefore, while people who identify as Black may have African ancestry, not all Black people are African, and not all Africans are considered Black. So now we have a problem. So if we talk about an indigenous population, let me finish though, bro. So if we talk about an ancient indigenous population, Black is a wild thing to do because you could really say they Black and be like the white people say, yeah, they was Black from the Caucasus Mountains. They said all that, bro. So to get serious in the study that I like to do and not making up my own thing, bro, I'm not going to use that racialized term. So no, Black is not synonymous with African, bro. Simple as that, bro. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what Mr. Rich is talking about. And no, I'm not sitting here on YouTube at no time allowing unqualified people to act like they got the homework. I'm not doing that, bro. I've never done that. I'm not doing it for myself. I don't expect my audience to sit there and listen to me without a source that's saying exactly what I'm saying, bro. So I'm not trying to create my own work and say, "You're just my work." No.
What is the appropriate term to identify a European? Europeans
are Europeans.
Yeah, European.
So okay, now what is an appropriate?
And you know what's crazy?
Okay, let me ask you. What is the appropriate descriptive term to identify Europeans? How would we describe?
Europeans, they all Middle Eastern people. Europe is a peninsula, but they all.
No, I'm talking about. Hold on, come on, Ngozi. Don't do me like that.
I'm just being honest.
We're talking about Europeans. We got Europeans. We got Arabs. We have Persians. We have people that y'all saying these terms ain't racial. Hold up, let me ask you these terms as Asian racial, or these terms. I'm just trying to get the criteria with you guys. It's Asian racial. Would that be a racialized term if I call it something?
Okay, James, let me just say something. James, let me say something to you, and then you can respond back.
Go ahead.
Arabs are West Asians.
I know that.
Europeans are Europeans. Mediterranean Europeans, people from Spain, Portugal, Greece, those people have closer ties to Middle Eastern people because they have the higher component of the Anatolian farm that cross from the Eastern Mediterranean. Right? Listen. Let me go there with you. Northern Europeans are Northern Europeans. Southern Europeans, people from Spain, Portugal, Greece, have stronger ties to population groups that came from the Eastern Mediterranean of Anatolia. The Anatolian farmers is higher in them. Middle Eastern people are Middle Eastern people, but we're basing it off the continent, right? Based off the continent of how we understand continents today, Europeans are Europeans. Middle Eastern people are Middle Eastern people. Arabs are West Asians. Lebanese, Syrians, West Asians. You know what I'm saying? People in North Africa are North African. The Egyptian, the people of the Maghreb, people of Tunisia, they are North Africans. They are not people south of the Sahara. What people are labeling as sub-Saharan or super-Saharan. But the point is, they're all Africans. But Africa is diverse, like Unc read. We have more human diversity within the continent of Africa than population groups outside of Africa. So just because a person has fairer skin, light eyes, straighter hair, It does not denounce him from being African. Or if a person have curly hair,
hold on, go
black
slow down,
skin,
baby.
But they're not the original Egyptians. They're not the original Egyptians, brother.
Rich,
what do you mean? What do you hold on?
Let me say something, Gozy, real quick. Now, you just said that the North Africans or the North Africans.
Yo, we just let you talk, yo.
We got that part, but because me and Gozy, we kind of have our little thing.
And no European is not a commonly considered to be racialized, yo. And the way Black and Asian is.
But but you would agree, in Goldie, that the people in North Africa have the same genetic diversity as all Eurasians, right? They don't have the same genetic. Hold up. They don't have the same genetic diversity as the indigenous Africans, do they?
No. Listen, let me explain, brother.
I'm asking them just a simple question.
James, listen.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
I'm trying. If you let me answer it, it's not a simple yes or no. I'm just telling you my truth based off. Listen, can I answer the question? And if you guys disagree, you guys can shoot at me or do what you do. Okay?
No, just answer that question right there and go through.
I can't. It's not a simple yes or no because it's complex when it comes to a place and a region. Hold on. Listen. Let me say what I'm saying, brother. No. Listen to what I'm saying. Can I answer the question?
No, it's me, Unc, yo. I'm saying, what was they saying?
They trying to say. They're saying, can I answer the question about the North Africans have more connections with like they would with?
No, I said they have the same. Let me ask them again. Let me listen. You listening? You listening, Unc?
Yeah, but I'm trying to. Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm because Unc saying he didn't hear me. So what I asked him was, does he agree that the people in North Africa have the same amount of genetic diversity as all Eurasians? That's what I asked.
That's a simple answer.
Do they have the same genetic diversity as all Eurasians?
What?
They're close. They're closer.
Yo, ask the question again, James.
What are you saying? What are you saying? They're closer.
Okay, let me say on average, do the people in North Africa have the same genetic diversity as all Eurasians, or do they have the same genetic diversity as the people in sub-Saharan Africa? We know the people in sub-Saharan Africa are the most genetically diverse on the planet. Okay, I'm trying to clarify.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Listen, I'm gonna ask you a question based off available data, or based off the data that's put out there. The North Africans have the same level of genetic diversity as people that's Eurasians, not as much as populations south of the Sahara or sub-Saharan Africans, because they share more affinities with people in the Middle East. Yes, that's it. I answered your question. I mean, it's answered. Yes.
And what does that mean, Ngozi? What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay. Well, the thing. I'm gonna answer the question. I was trying to get to that earlier. West Asian populations have been drifting in North Africa for a very long time, not in one wave. I'm talking about, and you guys know this, especially James. We're talking about since the Ibero-Maurusians with the earlier wave 23,000 years ago. We're talking about Natufian-based population crossing in through the Sinai 12,000 years ago. We're talking about the pre-Proto-Neolithic A culture would drift in around 7,000 years ago, especially population groups near the Levant. And the Levant has a special history. So the people group in North Africa, they have set paired genes where they develop their own levels of segment that becomes unique to Africa because they've been there for so long. Some of these people have back migrated into the continent longer than Native Americans crossed the land bridge. So there's a far genetic distinction with populations north than south. Now, population groups south.
What are you saying? What are you saying in layman's terms? What are you saying?
So population groups south of the Sahara, these human beings that we primarily come from spent more longer time in the continent. They had more time to have more genetic drift within the continent. They had longer appearance of a human post-age of Homo sapiens within the continent. So they have furthermore genetic diversity than population groups that left out, went through a bottleneck and slightly came back in and penetrated a certain area and developed unique clusters there. So people south of the Sahara, because we spent more longer time in the continent, we had a longer run as a species in the continent. Of course, we have more genetic diversity than the populations in North Africa who owe most of their origins from population groups that came back in a very long time ago at different times.
So you're trying to say they're the same people? Is really what you're trying to say?
Nah, man.
The closest thing.
Man, let the nigga talk, man. I know what I'm talking about. See, he was about to answer.
No, hold on.
Hold on, Mr. Rich.
What I'm trying to say is that the people in Egypt are closest They're closest to population. The population of Egypt today are closest to the ancient Egyptians more than anybody on the continent. That's what I'm saying.
That's not true.
And I just hold up, and
That's not true.
I would definitely
That's not
disagree.
true.
Why you
That's
say
not
that?
true.
I want to go back to what Ngozi said for a minute. All I need y'all to do is stop acting like the map makers was in Africa, naming it Africa, and divvying up the land masses, yo. Y'all gotta stop that.
Who said anything about that? Huh? Ain't nobody said nothing about no map.
Okay, so no,
He must be talking to the chat. I asked him.
Oh, okay.
Let me talk, bro. Yep. See, y'all don't know how to have this type of decorum. I'm saying if you listen to what Ngozi said and the questions that y'all asked, he's correct. But there's a reason why he's correct, though. Because if you look at the landmass itself, right, and the different connections and how the landmass is connected, and don't put no name on it, imagine putting a biological biology on that, right? Animals. Humans are animals. Imagine putting them animals on that landmass that we're talking about that's connected, right? Africa's not floating off like an island somewhere, yo. It's not separate. Okay, the areas that we talking about, Northeast Africa, is connected, yo, to 3 different continents. And so imagine not having no preconceived notion of Africa or Asia or Middle East. Get that out your head, because they didn't know enough of that, right? And so when you talk about sub-Saharan Africa, now sub-Saharan Africa in the southern portion, I don't even like the political term, but look at the people that will be in the southern portion. Those populations will be older because we know that humans started on the Rift Valley. It's the Rift Valley. They got the most hominids. So now we're going to act like, Rich, I'm teaching right now, yo. So what I'm saying is when I'm teaching, Rich, right, I'm teaching. I don't need you to dive in because I'm teaching, bro. All right? I'm not talking to you. I'm teaching, and you should probably just listen to what I'm saying instead of trying to develop a question in the middle of me teaching. Because if you let me teach, you might get some clarity. The reason we can never get clarity is because niggas is diving into shit and don't know what the hell is going on. So listen to what I'm saying, Rich. I am telling you that the organism, Homo sapiens sapien, is a biological organism. And it will react the same way that plants and animals and everything ain't react to its natural environment. So I am telling you, if human beings started in the Rift Valley, right? Omo Valley, okay? There's 3 different spots, maybe. That's a Pan-African origin of humanity, right? I'm saying that southern population is going to be older because they never left. They stayed in Africa. That means they develop a whole lot of diversity, more so than populations in North Africa, more so than populations in Asia. Watch this. Watch my hands. The populations in South Africa, right, and the southern portion will be older than the populations in the northern section of the what we call the continent, will be older than the populations that you find in Asia, that will be older than the population. So the farther you get away from the center where humans evolved at, yo, you know what I'm saying, the less diversity you will get, bro. And as you get all the way to the Americas, it's even less diversity. I don't know why y'all can't understand that. And to the level to which you understand what I said is how you would know. I know what the hell I'm talking about. But guess what? Y'all don't study enough. You think I'm saying something else, but that's exactly what Ngozi said, bro. The farther you get away from the original population, the less diversity it is, bro. That's why I study evolution. That's why y'all played with me. I see you the conversations about evolution. No, y'all laughed and threw tomatoes at me. So if you don't understand evolution, you don't know what the hell I'm saying. You sitting here thinking I'm thinking that a North African is a whole nother. I'm never saying that. I'm saying based off of the biology, based off of the locale, based off of just not having a map at the time and all the preconceived notions we have around racism, bro. That's not what they was thinking about, bro. That's not what the early Stone Age people was thinking about, bro. They was fit for their environment. So they didn't know they was in North Africa. They didn't know they was in South Africa. They didn't know they was there. They knew none of these things that we talking about. And we place our own biases on that, Mr. Rich. And I'm saying is just because I don't want to play that game, because I want to allow the ancestors to speak for themselves, because I'm up to date with anthropology, and I'm the bad guy, I'm not listening to y'all, bro. I'm listening to the experts. And not one expert that we brought on this damn panel, because I talk to them on a regular basis, ever said they agree with that bullshit. They was trying to be nice to y'all niggas, but they never said that shit what y'all said was right. They never said that. I will do a clip campaign proving thing with it. They never said that, Rich.
Hey, James, put up that graph, James. Put up the graph, James. Hey, James, put up that graph. You know what I'm talking about? We was trying to ask them if they're gonna look at it and can explain that. Remember I'm talking?
Hey, hold on. Look, hold on. Let me just say this too. Let me say this too before James.
Hold
on. Before this, let me just say this right quick. The modern day Copts of Egypt are closest to the ancient Egyptians and the average Egyptian, the Muslim Egyptians. What I'm trying to say is that 60 to 70% they're closer to those pop. I'm not denouncing integration because James, you read the article about the 14th century where they had a larger layer of Eurasian DNA, and you tried to say, I think if I'm not mistaken, that they were Arabs. The Arabs came into Egypt in 641 AD. That's the 7th century. That's not the 14th century. That layer, that integration, the later addition of Eurasian that you speak of is the Mongoloid layer. People don't even know that. You got to be very cautious about Eurasians and the phases and times that they came in. So when you were saying in one of your, I heard you said that this proved that they Arabs because it said it showed up in the 14th century. The Arabs came in 641 AD. 641 AD is the 7th century. The 14th century is when the Mongoloids was there. So yes, there is some later introduction or some later integration from a later wave of Eurasians, but that's not the same population. And that same article that you read, it also talks about that earlier layer that was there based off the Tupper findings going back 15,000 years. Why do we play games? We cannot be biased with this information. Seriously.
Yeah, well, like I was really just see y'all good because y'all did about a whole 30 minutes of getting away from what I asked you, and then you agreed, but you know why. Hold up, and what's crazy about it, you know why. Hold up. He know why I asked him that question. And see, what you can't do is you can't sit up and try to say that that we know the further you get away from the genetics of the origins that it's gonna get weaker and weaker. No, that ain't what. That ain't what happened. Let me tell you. And Ngozi know what happened, and I know what happened.
What? I didn't say that. Hey, bro, we're not doing this shit.
Okay,
nigga,
well, it's my apologies, So you won't.
No, you did that on purpose, yo. I didn't say that. I said the less diverse it gets. By the time you get to America, it doesn't have the same diversity as it does in sub-Saharan Africa. That's what I said, bro.
No, but listen, all Eurasians have the same amount of genetic diversity, no matter if they're in America, if they're in Europe. You understand that?
No, but they are not. But they are James. But like Unc said, they're not as diverse as populations in sub-Saharan Africa. That's just the point.
I know. Hold on. Didn't I bring that up? I mean, you know I'm bringing that up for a purpose.
I mean, so it's no argument then, James.
Hold on, no. Cause see what y'all doing. Y'all trying to be slick, and you know I know. So don't do me like this.
You know what? No, what is it? It goes
because
I'm gonna make a hard listen. I'm gonna make a hard. I'm saying that the population is in Asia has more diversity than the population is in North America. I'm saying
that's why we can't never get nowhere.
No, but I'm saying that Ngozi might not be. I'm saying it.
I thought you said Ngozi say that. Which one is it?
No, and Ngozi just said that. I don't know what you're saying, Ngozi. I'm saying
Ngozi's agreeing with Pan-Africanism.
I don't agree with that.
I agree.
Okay, hold on. What did say?
Listen, I agree with you. All Eurasians have less diversity than populations south of the Sahara, where humans developed. Absolutely. He asked the question: do the North Africans today share the same level of diversity as all Eurasians? Yes, they do.
Right, because that'll answer the question if they're the original Egyptians. We know they're not.
Ain't no difference at that time period, though. That's
hey, bro, listen. Hold on. Listen, brother. Let me explain something to you. My brother from Senegal. The Assyrians drifted into North Africa from East Africa 150,000 years ago. They didn't even receive a lot of the later derived traits, the population groups that stayed south. Then the population group that bridged off them that became non-African populations. You got the earlier Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, and Late Stone Age. The human population that crossed out of Africa, they leave out through the Sinai. There's a bottleneck that occurs with these populations north. Ancestral North Africans give rise to the populations that become non-African. One group of these non-Africans that went through this further bottleneck goes south of the peninsula, and they become the basal branch. They split at base, basal Eurasians. And I'm gonna say this, James, so you can hear it. Which hold on, James. Hold on.
You must think we crazy. Come on. Hold on. Before you do that, before you say another word, because I don't want you to embarrass yourself.
No, you actually cut him off, bro, yo.
James, you gotta let me finish. Listen, James, you gotta let me finish.
Hold on 1 second, Ngozi.
Don't embarrass yourself,
Listen, don't cut nobody off no more, yo. Let the people speak.
James, James, this basal Eurasian, which is a hypothetical population, some postulate that it could have been a population that developed near North Africa. Either way, they diverge from ancestral North Africans who went through a further bottleneck, right? Whatever, they still diverge from ancestral North Africa. They split at base. They did not receive any Neanderthal signals like mainland Eurasians. As they cross through Eurasia, you have the Emirate culture. Then you have the Libertine Agrigetian culture. Then you have something called listen.
Don't do this.
What do you mean? I'm talking about the phases and the divergence. I want to give the timeline so you can follow what's going on. So by the time you get to around 28,000 years ago, there's changes going on in North Africa. Further genetic drift. A lot of the earlier Stone Age North Africans they're fragmented. If there's a ice age in Europe, there's a drought in North Africa. Changes is going on climatically. So you have a few vestiges of fragmented Tyrians lingering around the northern portion of the Mediterranean, right? This layer is when you looked at 2018 study when they said it was Haza Yoruba-like, but up-to-date ancestry North African, which is indigenous. You have something that back migrate into the continent. The Zudzana. You know about Zudzana. Zudzana represent a two-way mixture. If you study them in Eurasia, 35% of the DNA was postulated to be basal Eurasian like. The other layer is West Eurasian. The closest population to Zudzana is Villabrana, the Villabrana fossils that they found in Italy. That shit back migrated into North Africa. It mixes with the ancestry of North Africans. It becomes the Ibero-Maurutians. Later on, you had another wave of people on the eastern portion of the continent, the Capsian culture. They come in around 9,000 to 10,000. They're mixing heavily with refugeean population that's going backwards and forth from the western part of the Levant to the Sinai, called the Hellwinds, Cabrians and Hellwinds, going backwards and forward. They're crossing in. Later on, they become the Capsian culture. They're mixing into the Ibero-Maurutian population. Then later, you have the Anatolian farmers. They're crossing from the eastern Mediterranean of Turkey. They're going all through southern Europe. They become something called the Cargelware culture. Some of them going to North Africa around 6,500 years ago. They're drifting into North Africa. This creates a unique cluster through time because some of those segments been a very long time. Some of it get absorbed in a newer population. It creates a unique cluster. So what I'm trying to say is that the population groups in North Africa share more affinities with populations that's considered non-Africa because a lot of these populations have been finding refugeeum up there for a very long time, and their earlier ancestors diverged from ancestral North Africans, which shift there. So if you knock out the later addition of Eurasian segments, because there was some later integration, the closest population to the people in the earlier Middle East would be the certain layer of ancestral North Africans that's still found in North Africa because they diverged from them. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't matter what their color was because, yes, in earlier times, because they did not have the later mutation SLC245, sodium, potassium, calcium exchange of 55 mutation on chromosome 15, when alanine turns to threonine, the 111 amino acid, it didn't exist yet. So even the Zudzana that back migrated in 30s to 28,000 years ago would have been darker at this time. You really start to see the later phase of this lighter variant because you have things going on in the Levant, especially after the pre-Proto-Neolithic. After the pre-Proto-Neolithic, you have the Chalcolithic culture, which is the copper culture. When you start to find people with the CHG, Caucasus hunter-gatherer layer crossing through Iran and pre-Armenia.
Come on, man, you
wow,
wrong for this.
Wow.
Come on, because you finna cut the show off as long as this brother's talking.
Man,
Okay,
you
I'm
gotta,
done.
because man, come on, man.
Yo, but this is show though, yo.
Okay, well, then my apology goes. Go ahead.
So what I'm trying to say, James. So around 6,500 years ago, 7,000, 6,000, you have the Copper period where there's a bottleneck in the Levant with the pre-Proto-Neolithic. The pre-Proto-Neolithic A, B, and C culture, we know about this. They have ties with the Fayum A. You can see it. The Fayum A is a layer that's indigenous to Egypt, but you also have a layer that was shared because it was already crossing backwards and forward. So the pre-Proto-Neolithic, which was already shared with the Harifians and the Sinai, which was already shared with the Fayum, which later on becomes the Merimdi, there's a new change coming in the other eastern corridor. This is the Chalcolithic culture, which is the Copper period, and they're coming with the C. Oh, listen, 6,500.
Hey, go, I got a question for you, yo.
Hold on, listen. I'm almost done. They're coming with the CHG, Caucasus hunter-gatherer component. By the time they get into Egypt in a later phase, this is a whole nother layer of Eurasians. We know the story about the later Hyksos that comes in 4,000 years ago. And if you look at the studies that's coming out in February 2015, and they kind of gave you a sample of it in that Nunat area, Upper Egypt. Yeah, 20. No. I meant to say 2025. I'm trying to get to the point. February 2025, you're going to see what's talked about. They gave us a snippet of it in 2023. They said that the Egyptians from the 4th and the 5th dynasty in the Nunat, Nanuet area was closer to Natufians. And they said in the Middle Dynasty, you start to see them more closer to the modern Coptics, where they start to have a CHG, which is the Caucasus hunter-gatherer component, which comes from the Iranian population. So what I'm saying is layers of Eurasians at different times have been going into that area backwards and forth. Some of it adjusted
so did
to
you
the
just say that the 4th century, I mean, you just said the 4th dynasty have some mixtures from the Iranians?
No, the earlier phases was more closer to Natufians. The later phases were more closer to the Middle Dynasty, or the Middle Kingdom was more closer to the later Iranian population. That's also related to the Chalcolithic culture that was in the Levant at a specific time period.
Okay, and you said in the Levant during that time. What time was that? I mean, it was the Levant like flourishing then? In that time period you're talking about?
They started to cross into the Levant through the Copper period or the Chalcolithic period. They started to go over there between 6,500 and 7,000, and they caused a bottleneck to the pre-Proto-Neolithic. The pre-Proto-Neolithic was post-Natufians, which was post-Natufian means after Natufian, when they were Natufians mixed with populations in southern Turkey. A later population come in, and then that later population started to dominate over them. This is when you start to find a fine line of SLC 245 spreading at the highest level, yo. That's all I'm saying.
So, let me give y'all the natural phenomenon, then I'm gonna let y'all get y'all thing off. The natural phenomenon that I was talking about, that y'all laughed at me right here on this show, okay, it's called the serial founder effect. That's my source. Okay. Now, what is the serial founder effect? The serial founder effect is the process in human evolution where genetic diversity decreases as populations migrate further away from their original source. This concept explains why populations outside of Africa tend to have lower genetic diversity compared to populations within Africa. Last time I checked, North Africa is within Africa. It says, which is considered the cradle of human origin. As humans left Africa, small groups, founders, established new populations in different regions. With each migration event, these small groups carried only a subset of genetic diversity from their source population. This reduction in diversity occurs because the small number of individuals who migrate carry fewer genetic variants compared to the original population over time. As these populations expand into newer regions like Europe, Asia, and eventually America, the genetic diversity continues to decrease. For example, Native American populations have less genetic diversity than African populations because their ancestors passed through multiple population bottlenecks. Look up what a bottleneck is, right? Look up what a what a founder effect is. We talk about that on the show versus serial founder effect. A founder effect refers to the reduction of genetic diversity that occurs when a small group of individuals establish a new population. The serial founder effect applies this concept repeatedly across successive migrations, leading to a stepwise reduction in genetic diversity. So that's my source, right? Y'all can read that. I put it in there for y'all to read that. It's going to talk about the range of expansions cause a serial founder effect, and it's going to tell you why. I gave y'all the source, y'all see it. So this is what we do on this show. I'm not just talking to talk. I'm not just doing that because I think I'm funny. No, I'm doing it so we be educated and stand on the shoulders of our elders. That's why I do what I do. Okay, so I don't know what y'all thought y'all was talking about. Y'all trying to act like that ain't what it was when I explained it. That's my source. What I say.
And Egyptians are Africans, bro. They just Northeast Africans. It doesn't matter. They've been there. That's what they are. They're not us though, but that's cool because part of the diversity of the continent.
No. You're wrong with that. You're wrong on that one, Ngozi.
What up, brother?
Rick Kittle's partner, she just said that West Africans have some some relationship with.
Who?
Yes, the lady Regina, the light-skinned lady.
Yeah, I ran off the game.
Yes,
He interviewed her.
Said that.
Hold on, Rich. No,
Said that.
let me try.
Hey, Rich, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Hey, Rich,
Yeah,
you asked Ngozi earlier an interesting question, Ngozi. I don't think you heard him, but he asked you what was the dynamic, what was going on in the Levant, and I just want to touch on that briefly.
Go ahead.
That made them come into the Nile Valley.
Go ahead.
You got the Younger Dryas that took place over there. It was a cold phase that they went through in the Levant, which forced a lot of them back into the Nile Valley, into the Sinai, different areas, wherever they went, but they definitely came into the Nile Valley. The earliest I see them coming in archaeologically would be about 6,000 BCE, and that would be a group called the Lodian culture. They're right next to the Nizian culture. They're right next door, and some scholars say they're affiliated with the Nizian culture. So that's Lodian. They come into the Fayum around 6,000 BCE, and they begin to amalgamate with them. Now,
so are you saying that they don't want to populate the North Africa? That's what you're telling me? Those people. Are you telling me that culture right there, the culture that you just said, right? Are you telling me that they are the original inhabitants of North America? I mean, North Africa? Is that what you're telling me?
No. I'm not saying the original habits. I'm saying they come in and they eventually amalgamate. Their culture actually, in this case, and this is one of the few cases you can point out, the Lodian culture actually disappears from the Levant in total. Like they don't find any more lithics from them. They come into the Nile, into Fayum, and they're just there. Their lithics show up there, so they completely leave. Now I can't say that about other cultures. I'm saying I'm the culture guy. I like to point to a culture. I don't just like to throw ghost populations out here or like speculate about.
Did they influence the culture that was already there, or they just got sucked in?
They definitely would have, but by this time the Africans in the Fayum or in the Delta would have already began farming around 8,500 BCE. They would have been like practicing that to get good at it, because the soil, it takes time to adapt. So it takes anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 years to be fully acclimated to the point where you could become, because farming basically pushed them into like population growth. And with population growth, you start to develop different politics. You begin to get like very territorial. You know what I mean? So all those dynamics were already in place. Farming and the food production just like sped it up. You know what I'm saying? But they were already practicing farming techniques at 8,500 BCE based on the model from Asr Bar Yosef that I tend to agree with. Because if you look down in the Sudan, you have an outlier. You have domesticates, which African Online teacher brought up in our first conversation. You have domesticated plants down there, 5,200 BCE. That's an outlier. That's earlier than what's going on in the Delta. So we know something's wrong there. You know what I mean? So it's just that those sites in the Delta are covered up. But recently they dug down and found cores. They found bacteria on dung that shows and demonstrates that they were actually farming up there much earlier. So the actual date now that the model that's floating around now is 8,500 BCE, which gives them enough time, gives them that 3,000-4,000 year period to become a full-blown state by the time we get to the pre-dynastic period. So they were definitely there. Now, I would like to hear those that push this theory or this model about Levantian groups in the Red Sea Hills. I would like to see what cultures they attach to them. Like I attached the Lodian culture dealing with the Fayum.
That next show.
So yeah, I'm just saying, like in the future.
What's all that? So you didn't know they come from the,
so
you don't think they came from the hills in Ethiopia with the Afro-Asiatic? Huh?
Oh, wait a minute. You said Afro-Asiatic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what you say they? What you mean they?
I'm saying the Afro-Asiatic come from the foothills of Ethiopia.
I believe
talking about a language group.
the Natufian-like groups do come back in. They come back in
the language
around
itself comes from within Africa.
They would have been speaking to Afro-Asiatic group.
I don't know why people even get mad at that. When
they go into the
when
Sudan,
the six groups.
They do go into the
speak
Sudan.
Afro-Asiatic, and 5 of them is in Africa. So I don't even know how they do that.
So I would like to say, if I'm allowed to speak,
go ahead.
Afro-Asiatic is postulated to have formed in East Africa 16,000 years ago, and some people had other postulations, but I'm gonna focus on the African postulation. So around 16,000 years ago, Proto-Afro-Asiatic forms in East Africa. The closest thing to it is Omotic languages at earlier base, right? But Egyptian language branch of Afro-Asiatic, not their writing, peeled off around 10,000 years ago before they were writing. We know that from the pictographs, Gonta Dreyer says proto-writing with them starts around 300 years earlier than what they said. So let's give them, in a writing sense, 5,500 or something like that, before they have established Medu-Neter, the pictograph. So Afro-Asiatic derives 16,000 years ago, Proto-Egyptian shapes around 10,000 before they're writing. So Afro-Asiatic is also a fused situation, because these people are they're crossing from Eastern Sudanic populations. When you start to find, we talk about Wadi Hafla, we talk about the civilian culture and all that, it starts to form and shape in a zigzag. Like you say, the Red Sea Hills, they're merging, they're going, but you also have some isolated North African pockets that help form this cluster, because when they go into the Levant near that Sinai, those Natufian-like people, when you look at their genetics, the Natufians were part ancestry North African, or a mixed population of later Ibero-Maurutians, like the Mushibians, who cross through the Sinai and go over there and mix with the Cambrian groups, which later become the Natufians later. So there's a lot of backwards and forth going on. So for Afro-Asiatic, based off when you look at when you follow certain genetic signatures, it went through a whole lot of changes. The earlier state would have been probably way different than what came in the northern portion, especially when they started writing. And a lot of borrowing syntax and cognates would have occurred to help establish the later derived Afro-Asiatic fully established into the later Medu-Neter. Proto-base is something totally different, at the earlier stage.
Yeah, but what haplogroups, Ngozi, are you talking about come back in? Because you got a brother in the comment section saying, "Oh, they related to Abraham. No, West Asians. They, you know what I'm saying?"
I don't want to talk about the Natufians were primarily descendants of EZ827, EZ830, which formed into EM134, which became EM123 independently in the Levant, a later downstream of E1B1B. But the earlier ancestor of E1B1B from that clade at EZ827 derived from EM35. The same EM35 as E1B1B that gave birth to EV65, which gave birth to EM78, which formed into EV12 in Egypt, or Upper Egypt, near northern Sudan and Upper Egypt. So that most of the Natufians were E1B1B, EZ827, EZ830, EM34, EM123, which formed independently. That's why you have to connect in certain time periods when it comes to organism transmission. I'm talking about humans, because humans are organisms. There's Arabia and Levant in the western portion is part of Greater Africa, because the people group was going backwards and forth for a very long time. Very long time.
So that's for you, contrarian thinker, because
we had the
you
4 hours.
Look up EM34, brother. Look up EM34, brother, in the comment section.
Let me
not
just
related
say,
to Abraham.
I'm getting ready to leave. Let me just say, man, y'all do a lot of talking, man, and y'all don't let y'all guests respond. I mean, I know y'all have y'all long-winded or whatever. Man, this is ridiculous. But let me just say before I leave here, to simplify for everybody that's listening, because this was a lot of talking that was going on.
You got a source, though.
I don't think anybody that's been talking for the last 30 minutes had a source. But let me just say before I leave here, this is what's going on. Y'all gonna have to explain to me, how did Homo sapiens sapiens populate the whole entirely of the world? See what I'm saying? You have to do that. But these same people that stayed in Africa for 230,000 years left out with this genetic diversity that they have still in sub-Saharan Africans today. They left out with that genetic diversity. What you saying you using just simply a bottleneck is not going to explain.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Hold on. I'm not talking to specifically you,
I said to you, your founder effect.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. to use genetic diversity outside of the continent to explain how these people got the same genetic diversity as these people that just got the Homo sapiens sapien DNA. You're gonna have to explain that. So when you start to use, so what I'm saying is, Ngozi's using basal Eurasian as the source population for Eurasians. He knows that that's a hypothetical population. Listen to what I'm saying, that is a hypothetical population. And what you have to understand about these basal Eurasians is that they're the same Homo sapiens sapiens that left out. They're Homo sapiens sapiens.
James, all humans are Homo sapiens sapiens. Today.
Okay, but hold on. When these basal Eurasians leave out, they don't have no Neanderthal ancestry.
James,
man, see that, and then hold on, because you got to understand that in the northern, hold on, in Eurasia and East Eurasia, there's other.
Yeah. We rolling D3 the hard way, legacy we claim. Unlocking chemics, wisdom, they remember our name. I'm the God killer, from the streets, no shame. Dive in the mental meta, unleash the ancient flame.
We'll talk further.
Fall back, they can comprehend. Real ones rise up, knowledge never ends. Free the hard way, we break the chains. Unlocking secrets, no more mundane. Chemist power running through our veins. Pseudo killers fade while we stake our claims.
Yeah, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all was listening to me the hard way, man. Very, very interesting show. Got a little bit off the rails from what we really like to do, man. Yeah, when they start talking about this and that, and no source, nowhere, and yeah, we doing too much at that point, yo. I just appreciate everybody on the panel, man. Great show, man. That's good work right there, bro. All day, every day, man. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm your host, man. Big up the Gullah. Big up the Nasir Lee. Big up the Ngozi, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We doing what we got to do, man. Man, appreciate my man to put this together for us, man. I'm going to double up on this because I like this song right here, yo. And with that, man, you know we out, man.
In the land of Kemet, wisdom flows like the Nile. Unlocking the meta, we study in style. Ancestors whisper as we listen with pride.